What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 33 of Hit the Books, the podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking, and everything surrounding sports. Lots of stuff from around the leagues this week, so let's not wait. Let's jump right in. Let's introduce my co-hosts, Huff, Ace, and Mackie. We're all here this week. Huff, let's start off with you. What do you got for us here, buddy? Another week here on the show.
Yeah, first time we've had all of us here in about a week or so it feels good to have everyone back. Final Four National Championship just wrapped up as we move from one of the most chaotic tournaments of March Madness. Not saying this tournament specifically, just saying time of year. March is action-packed with sports. We move into a nice Masters weekend the following week. Can't wait to get into it. A lot of good sports on the slate this weekend with NHL heating up towards the playoffs, NBA as well. We have obviously everyone's favorite golf tournament of the year this weekend getting kicked off tomorrow morning.
Heck yeah. Super excited for those Masters. We'll get more into that. Ace, let's go to you next here. What do you got for us? Nice to see you for another week.
Yeah, happy to be here. Went to the Bruins game last night, so got to see two good teams. Even though they lost, got to see the Hurricanes play. That's a fun team to watch as well. I've been watching some day baseball. Love having that on the slate. Can't get better than that. It's like one of my favorite things about this time of year. Have some great night games, meaningful night games in basketball and the NHL world. Then you get to watch day baseball early on in the season too. March Madness is pretty fun to follow, both men's and women's. So ready to get talk about another week of sports here.
Good stuff from you, Ace here. Mackie, let's finish it off with you here before we jump into this week's episode. What do you got for us?
Yeah, it sucks college basketball is over, but we got a good March Madness. No real big upset there with UConn winning. I think a lot of people saw that one coming, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to dive into that one. And obviously, NHL race is heating up. Masters coming up. I'm getting excited for that. Gonna be live betting all day Sunday, so that'll be fun. But yeah, just excited to get into it.
Good stuff there, boys. Let's get rolling here into this episode. Episode 33 here this week, following March Madness, pre-Masters and NBA and NHL playoffs. So lots of good stuff to look forward to. As we talked about here last week, our newly established video game streams. I want to hear from you guys your top 3 sports-related video games at the current moment. Ace, do you want to get us rolling on that?
Yeah, I mean, pretty simple question for me. One of them has some recency bias. The other two are just staples in my life, in my game playing, and in the sports world of video games. I'm going to go 3-1. Number 3, I'm coming with MLB The Show, probably just because it's been top of mind of late. And I love the historical settings they add to it. You can pitch like you did in MVP Baseball back in 2004. Has all the updates. Diamond Dynasty, I'm actually a fan of it, unlike the other Ultimate Team game modes. Coming in at number 2, this was a tough choice for me. I'm going to put Madden at number 2, only because it hasn't had too many great revelations in the past few years. I feel like some people dying off a bit. But luckily, Sketch bringing it back to life a little bit with some of his recent moves. But I'm big in the connected franchises, online play, tournament play, whatnot. So love that. And then at number 1, I have NHL. I mean, the world of Chell is probably one of the best things they've ever added to the game. And then you also have franchise mode. I hope they bring back connected franchise. That would be one reason I could put it back to number 2. But they have crossplay at least enabled. All the games do now. But I got NHL at 1. Grinding that one day in and day out, over 2,000 points, 3,000 points a year in the world of Chell. How can I not put it at 1? So that's mine. You got baseball, football, hockey, the show, Madden, Chell, top 3 right there. Mackie, let me know what you think of that list.
Yeah, it's definitely a good list there, Ace. But mine's a bit different, just because I don't really play a lot of video games. I really only stick to 2. But for the third spot, I'll just throw in Fortnite because it's an OG, and I still kind of rip it from here to there. But yeah, I'll throw Fortnite in at 3. Number 2, I'm gonna go with PGA. PGA has become one of the best games that Xbox PS5 has seen. 5 years ago, nobody was playing PGA. They've just really developed this game, and you're gonna see it a little on our streams between Jesse and Huff. So it's gonna be a good time for sure. But number 1, gotta go with Chell as well. World of Chell, obviously the best. I think it's the best aspect of any single game, like Ace said. Yeah, I think there's no competition for Chell.
Yeah, I'll step in here next. That's a solid list as well. Mackie, ours is pretty similar there. Real quick, the Diamondbacks are on the verge of blowing this game right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Rockies have the bases loaded, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs. With what's his name, Nolan Jones coming up to bat. This could be an interesting ending here for the Diamondbacks. Hopefully they get this close this game out here. But yeah, so my list, I'm probably going to go. This is off the top of my head. Sports related, I'm going to go Honorable mention, kind of an asterisk next to sports related. Rocket League, been playing that a lot lately. That's always a fun. I didn't really play that like my entire life, and then me and Jesse the one day randomly just downloaded it.
Got ran real
Mackie,
quick.
Mackie, actually, what made us download Rocket League was that rocket racing or whatever that they put in Fortnite. I did that like
No,
one
I
time.
don't really play Fortnite that much either.
I did that like one time, and then I literally just downloaded Rocket League. It is super addicting. I just like how the games are like 5 minutes, and you can play it on your Switch if like you want handheld, so that's always good. Number 2, I'll go PG, or number 3, Madden. Number 2, PGA. Number 1, NHL. I think that's a unanimous across the board. Coming from a lot of hockey players, but I mean truly just from like actually playing. Like I like playing PGA like 2-on-2 or 1-on-1, playing online. Same thing with Madden. It's kind of similar, but what you can do, like Madden tried to do it with that yard mode where they made it like kind of backyard football, 7-on-7. It just wasn't the same thing as the 3-on-3. Diamondbacks won; they got the strikeout. But
I was waiting for you to be finished to say that.
yes, but then fuck, now I lost my train of thought. But yeah, that yard thing with Madden, they tried to basically emulate what the NHL video games were doing with the World of Chell, and I think everyone's kind of following that suit. Another honorable mention, I have to throw it in. There's 2K. I grew up my entire life playing NBA 2K, but I kind of fell off. They made those games way too hard.
No, it's because you can
play
pay to make your player better. Like
That's the best thing about World of Chell is that everyone is like you're either better at them at the game or you're not. Like every player is basically even. Whereas in 2K, these guys are like 65 overalls, and other people are paying for 99 overalls.
Yeah.
It's like stupid. It's boring.
I lost interest in 2K when I was playing my career the one day. I think it was 2K, probably 22, maybe 2 years ago. And one of the parts of the storyline was I had to go to a studio to make a song and then go to a fucking fashion show. I said, I'm playing basketball. What the fuck am I doing in a recording studio with, I don't even know who the hell it was that they had in the game. It was like Snoop Dogg or someone. I'm like, this is brutal that I have to do this. And like, if you don't do it, you don't get any of your incentives. Like you sign all those, like I think I had like a Beats by Dre sponsorship. So I had to go make a song. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, I think at that point, and then
they're doing
the
too
same
much.
thing, like you pay for your player, but I don't know. I buy a sports game to play sports, not to, go tap Circle Square to fucking make a rap song.
Huff, I'll tell you one game that definitely is just a game you go to play sports, and none of us left off our list just because of the nature of the sports that we tend to gravitate towards. But FIFA is a great couch play game. I know a lot of people would probably have that on their top 3 list, but I got to stick to the ones that are my forte.
Yeah, I'm just not a soccer guy, so like when I play FIFA, I truly am just like I need Ronaldo, Messi, or Mbappe. Yeah, I just need someone that I know. So I'm like, all right, they're gonna score every goal for me. And even then, I can't even tell you the last time I played FIFA. I had FIFA 14 for my like PSP. That was probably the last.
Best
FIFA
time was college couch play FIFA. That was the only time I'd rip it.
I was gonna say I'd play Addison in FIFA a good bit. I mean, he would just kick my ass. He was like, really good.
He was grinding the ultimate team, the good old FUT. It's not even called FIFA anymore. Actually, I think it's called something different now because the FIFA is a sleazy organization. But
what is it now? Like Pro Soccer?
Yeah, I can't. I don't even know the exact name. But look at I gotta look it up. I gotta see what it is. But yeah, good list all around, boys. All of us in the world of Chell. Gotta love that.
Yeah, boys, lots of good stuff there. Make sure to check out our video game streams of Chell, Madden, some PGA, lots of good stuff coming up here for those. The new EA Sports College Football 25 video game is coming out, is set to be released of July this year. There's just been a bunch of leaks and stuff all around July, so that's been the latest on that.
This is what I want to say. If anyone would have put, it's FC 24, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. Huh?
If anyone would have thrown NCAA football in there, I would have been like, you're just, I don't know. It hasn't, like, when people talk about that game.
You haven't played it.
Exactly.
You haven't played it in 15 years.
It's going to look exactly like Madden, too, and I'm going to love when people are mad about it. I'm going to love when they're mad about it. But I'll literally, Huff, I love don't you love the memes? Like, the reels of people, like, me standing on the sidelines and my D2 team is at the whiteout at Penn State.
Yeah, Central Michigan at Penn State. And the guy's like wearing his PlayStation headset and he's like walking through his room. They are funny, but it's like so many people give that game so much credit. And I'm like, it's always been so similar to Madden. It's like, and people shit on Madden and just praise that game. And I'm like, I used to not love the NCAA football games growing up because I'm like, your quarterback, for example, like when I had the game when Marcus Mariota was on Oregon, your quarterback's number 8 and his nameplate says number 8 quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe it'll be a lot better now with NIL and
yeah.
these kids can get paid for their name. Like you're actually going to have, just
Arch
for
Manning.
like I was going to say Arch Manning at Texas.
Even though I think he's not in it.
I know he is one of the ones that opted out.
Loser.
Actually, that is yeah. But that I think that'll help the NCAA football games, at least from my perspective. I used to I like the mascot mode where you just play mascot on mascot, but like all the players' ratings were still the same. Like it was like your outside linebacker, if he's an 86 in normal mode, like he's still an 86 as a mascot. Like it just made it look so stupid. Me and my cousin used to always pick the dumbest mascots we could and just play.
Yeah, but I think the fact that they have actual names and they have people making money off their names, I forget what they paid them to be in it. Probably not much.
600.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
It's nothing crazy, but I would want to be in it. You're immortalized forever in a video game now. Why not?
Yeah, but they said it was. I mean, you think about 600 times, however many colleges are in this game, plus how many players.
Yeah.
They said it was the biggest NIL deal in history.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And they'll give them all a copy of the game.
Yeah.
So really, call it another, however much it costs.
It's free advertising though when they're posting on all their social media.
It is a pretty high cost when you think about it. I agree, it's probably not fair, but
they said it was like
in the grand scheme of things, it's not.
Yeah, because it's not like you're buying one player.
Video games are $70. They have to sell how many video games just to make up a person?
They will.
Think about that.
They have to sell
they have to sell nearly
$100.
All of our Midwest listeners are probably excited for the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
I don't know how many copies they really think this game's going to sell.
I guarantee. I mean, I think this is going to sell like crazy. It hasn't been out in 15 years. You know how many people are excited for this?
Yeah, it's all I've been hearing about for years.
Can you look up like their projected sales of what they think?
Madden does like $100 million a year.
It'll do more than that.
I guarantee you. I think it'll double. I think
everybody in my connected franchise leagues, you know what's crazy? They're always like, I'm off Madden whenever NCAA comes out. And I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it. But
like, everyone's so excited for this because everyone's like, oh, I'm sick of Madden. Let's get a new game going. It's going to be the same fucking game. But
literally.
I was just
people are stupid. They got to try it out.
And the best part is going to be when it's the exact same game as Madden next year, and everyone shits on Madden still and says they don't change the game, but then they just talk about NCAA football like it's a God-given gift to Earth.
Just because you have different logos on the screen.
Yep.
Game modes. It'll be fun, though.
They paid, give or take, $6.6 million, which is not a lot.
There's like 1,000 players that are actually, their names are actually in the game.
10,000.
Okay, yeah, out of 0. It shows how good I am at math.
Out of 0, huh?
That was close.
Yeah, so that's like it's like chump change for them when they're going to be making 150 off revenue.
I don't disagree, but
not to mention the in-game.
I just think the fact that $600 a person to be in one of the most famous video games of the year is just kind of like a kick in the dick.
Like I think that's truly why Arch Manning probably said no. He's like,
what do you think NHL players make to be in the NHL game? I bet it's half that.
Okay, but they have NHL contracts. These guys are just signing NIL deals, and half of them don't even have that.
Well,
here's the question:
what are the guys here? There's no way 10,000 of them have NIL deals.
Here's like half of them do.
No way. No, absolutely not. And 1% of them are making like significant money.
Yeah, it's probably like blanket NIL deals from the team, though, right?
Yeah, right.
Like if you want to talk about
not a lot. Like I know D1 college soccer players that get $3,000 a month for stipend.
Yeah, well, yeah.
$600, to match.
$600 is nothing. It's what I'm saying.
Mac, you're talking like personal NIL deals, though.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, so like to make $600 on a personal NIL deal is not that bad.
I agree with
the top 1% is only really making that much money off NIL. You're talking about these low-level D1 college schools. Their DB is not making any money off NIL. And if he is, he's making
right. But the school has deals that they get money. You know that, right? Like that's been a thing for a while.
Yes, but it's also not like significant. Well, like your comparison was that NHL players, how much are they making off these video games? Well, they're making full NHL salaries.
Yeah, but Mac, at the same time, they're NHL players. These are bottom barrel NCAA guys who aren't playing football after this.
I understand that, but they're like
I don't think they're even worth 600.
Yeah, I don't either. You're talking about the second on O lineman on the worst team in the Big 12. Like you think he deserves?
Dude, their names out there in a video game.
I think you should do it for free.
I would.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why Arch Manning said no, though. I think he was
Well,
like, my
he's-
name, the
his
Manning
value.
name is worth more than $600.
That's-
so fuck
that's
it.
Well,
different.
now in the video game, it's worth 0.
Well, yeah. Now
No,
you know that
it's not
you
used
know
in the video game.
they
It
blocked out.
can't, right? So it has no value there.
But it does get us to talk about him. He brings up who's
You're
not
right
in
about
it.
that.
Oh, he
They s-
doesn't need us to talk. Archie Manning is talked about well enough.
And the crazy thing is, I saw something online. I don't know how true this is or if they can do that, but like, you know how like if you try to name your guy "fuck you," like it'll tell you can't
Yeah.
name him that. Like, I heard
can't name him Manning.
players that opt out, you won't be able to use that exact name combination.
That's valid though.
So like, you can't just go change number 16 at Texas to Arch Manning. Like, it's gonna say QB
Arch
number
Manning with
16.
one N.
Yeah, you. I mean, you might be able to do something like that, but you know what I mean. Like, you
Yeah.
can't do the exact.
You're gonna have
name.
to scheme the system. Not Arch Manning.
You just flip like the first letter, the M in the ends,
Yeah.
namming.
Mhm.
Lots of good stuff there, boys. Let's keep it going here. Lots of big dates coming up here. The NFL draft coming at the end of the month, April 25th. The NHL playoffs begin April 22nd. NBA playoffs right before that, April 20th. And the Masters going on now. Practice rounds here Tuesday and Thursday. Tournament coverage starting Thursday. Alrighty, let's jump into our NHL power rankings here. Starting off, number 5, the Colorado Avalanche. Number 4, the Carolina Hurricanes. Number 3, the Boston Bruins. Number 2, the Dallas Stars. And number 1, those New York Rangers to round out that list. What are we thinking here coming into what are the final full week of the NHL? What do you guys think?
Mackie, your Rangers 8-2 in their
weeks in a row.
last.
Mackie
row,
wants
we got
the
number
curse
one.
so bad. He wants the curse
Listen, I'll
so
tell-
bad.
I don't have PTSD from it yet, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
Maybe in
yeah.
a month then I will, but
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is I'm not happy that you guys didn't beat the Islanders. So not happy with them right now.
yeah, I know that also sucked for you. But you did get the outcome you wanted in that Canes, or not Canes, the Caps,
Capitals Red Wings
game.
I was
Yeah, that
I
was
thought it
good.
was gonna go to overtime and just double fuck
Listen.
us.
All you gotta do is take care of business, and there's nothing to worry about.
No, I know. But
Mackie,
it's like
you
you'd
guys-
still like the help when you can get it.
Mac, you guys
Yeah,
are
well,
kind of
just
set in that 1 seed, huh?
Like,
There's 4
Yeah, I
games
guess.
left, or do you have 3 now?
no, there's 3 games
Rangers
left.
have
And we play
3
the
games
Flyers
left.
next.
And
The
how many
Flyers
points
are
up are you
capable
on the Canes?
3.
Three. 3 games left, 3 points up. They have a cakewalk of a schedule. They play Jackets, Blues are their hardest game, and then they play the Blackhawks. They're gonna go 3-0. We just need 3 points, I think. But we play the Flyers, who have lost 6 straight. They're basically dead and out. And then we play the Senators the last game of the season. So those
Mackie,
two
here's-
easy wins.
That Canes team was following right behind the Bruins in our power rankings right there at 4-3, and they beat the Bruins last night, handled them on our home ice. Kind of what we did to them in Carolina a few weeks ago, so they might be jumping up in our power rankings come next week. But yeah, one thing I do wonder is what's that tiebreaker for, say you and the Canes tied with points? Is it just head-to-head record on the season?
I don't know, but if we're doing because every other tiebreaker is like regular or
It comes down to, I think the first tiebreaker is
regulation.
overtime losses.
no,
Alright.
it's regulation wins.
Yeah, that makes
Okay,
sense.
that's what I meant.
It's
Yeah, I knew it had
regulation
something to do with overtime.
Yeah.
So if you have the most regulation wins, and we obviously have like 3 more than every other team, but I think if it's head to head, you just do like record head to head. But
But like you
I don't
guys
think
play
we're
each
gonna
other 4 times a year, so it's like you could be
I
2
don't
and
think
2.
we're gonna have to. Well, that's when you have to like keep going into like these tiebreakers.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're gonna have to even deal with that. The Rangers should definitely not have to deal with it. Take care of business next game. Take game by game. We play the Islanders in the middle of the Senators and the Flyers. We just lost to the Islanders. I don't think we lose to them twice in the final 4 games of the season. But
They're playing for their
even if we
lives.
do, I think we still take care of business. I don't know. The Rangers. I mean, they don't lose. They don't lose a lot of games.
Who do we
So-
who do we have at the 2? in our-
Here's something. Was it Dallas?
Yeah, Dallas
Yeah.
Western
Dallas,
Conference team.
too.
Yeah.
And that's who I'm looking at right now. Their last 3 games of the year, Mackie. I said it 2 weeks ago or last week. The perfect scenario would be your Rangers get that 1 seed in the East, and you guys let Dallas get the President's
Yeah.
Trophy. I know you said you want it. Dallas's last 3 games, all on home ice. Home against the Jets tomorrow night, home against the Kraken on Saturday, and home against the Blues next Wednesday.
Not easy games.
It's no easy games at all. Actually,
I think they go 3-0 in those games. I don't think. That's
I
an
think
issue.
the Jets will beat them next game. I'm not gonna lie. I think they're on like a 7-game heater. They're not gonna go into I don't think they go into the playoffs on a 10-game heater.
Who, the Stars?
Kraken, and the
Yeah.
Kraken like to play spoiler. That's actually a good roster. They underperformed this year, but that's my pick to come out of the West from before the year
They
started.
lost 2 games ago to Chicago, in Chicago.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah, they're 9-1 in their last 10. And
this Stars team. I knew
maybe
all
they do,
season
maybe they do.
they'd be right here, but they're just so loaded. If you look at their lineup 1 through 4, they remind me of the Hurricanes. The way they're built with a good goaltender, or at least a guy who's supposed to be good in Jake Ottinger. I'm not surprised that they're exactly where they are come down the stretch, but there's a lot of good teams out west. You could put any of them really in that 2 spot. I think we had to go 1 East, 1 West. Honestly, I think that was the right thing to do in our rankings. But the Avs, the Oilers, the Jets, they're all right there. The Canucks, they're all right there with the Stars, in my opinion.
But in my opinion, you think the Stars are the scariest team out west?
I think it's
Even
the
though
Avs.
they have 109 points. Yeah, I'd say it's the Avs too. Especially the way McKinnon's playing right now. Did you watch those goals last night?
The hat
Just
trick.
turning it like a different level, man. It's like he looks like McDavid, and when you look like McDavid, who's stopping you?
Yeah. And hopefully he can get that heart too, because I think even after the hat trick last night, 3 goals, 1 assist, maybe. I think he's still sitting
Okay,
behind Kucherov by a couple, which is crazy to me.
Is it by 2? Is the Hart's the MVP, right?
Yeah.
Art Ross is the most points.
Yeah.
I think he locked in the Hart. I think that's not even a question, but I think Kucherov will definitely get the Art Ross.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if McKinnon could take home both, but I think that'd be a nice way if it balances out that way. McKinnon getting the Hart, Cooch getting the Art Ross. A lot of people want Cooch to grab the Hart. I don't know. I think McKinnon has more of an impact on the game personally when watching it. But one stat I did notice is I think there's something like Kucherov has a point on over half of the Lightning's goals, so that's something to take into account as well. Like they need him. Like it's kind of that LeBron conversation we have, the MVP. It's like, are they the best player in the league or the most important player to their team? I think you could make that argument for Kucherov.
Yeah, he has 139 points. You definitely can make an argument for him. That's crazy. We're gonna have 2 players with 140 points this year, though. This league is just talent's just getting better and better.
Not only that, we have Austin Matthews on the doorstep of 70 goals. He's sitting at 66 right now. That's nuts.
I was gonna say, do you think he gets 70?
I think he does. Or he's going to
games
peak at 69. He's going. I mean, just put in. He puts in
69.
He puts in a hat trick all the time, Mackie.
If he gets a hattie in the final 3 games, I mean, yeah, of course. But he went on a bit of a dry spell. Now he's like getting 1 per. If he gets 70, that'll be sick. I just don't think he'll do it.
You think
What
he's
does he
gonna?
have coming
You
up?
think he's gonna stall out at 69? Just to get that
I
hype.
hope he gets to
That's what always
69.
happens. Yeah, Austin Matthews, Poppy sitting at 69, kind of be scripted. But 70 would be a great milestone. And then another feat that's coming up too is McDavid going after
Oh,
the
they got
100.
4 games left.
They have 4 games left. He has to get 3 goals in 4 goals in 4 games.
4 goals in 4 games.
If he gets a
2 of them,
multi-goal
I mean, he has to
game,
go-
he can do it.
You gotta go 2 Florida and 2 Tampa. But
He eats
play the
up
Devils
power
tonight.
play
You can-
time though, so it's like
Yeah, and if there's an empty net goal, I hope he's chasing because he finally potted one a few weeks ago. I don't know if you guys saw that. He had 0 empty net goals all season long, and then finally got one late in the year. But another feat is Connor McDavid going after the 100 apples, but he's scratched tonight versus the Vegas Golden Knights in a huge game that's massive for the Western Conference playoff positioning. I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
saw
He's
that.
got 99,
I think-
right?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah,
scratched
he's a
tonight.
little
You
banged up.
rarely see him out of the lineup.
Yeah,
Game
that's a
time call Wednesday, it says. But yeah, I think he's
I don't
out.
see assists.
Yeah,
99 assists.
it's heating up though. The
Kucherov
East,
at 96. Kucherov can reach 102.
yeah, he probably will. What does he have left though? 2?
They both have 4 games
The
left.
Lightning?
Leafs and
Yeah.
Lightning both have 4
Oh, the
left.
Lightning do as well.
Yeah. The only teams in the East the only teams in the East that have played 79 are like all the ones that are at the top. Bruins, Panthers, Rangers, Canes. Everyone else has 78 games left.
And Flyers.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that are still in it.
Yeah, Flyers are they're 2 points out.
Yeah, just that game in hand is huge.
I don't think they have a chance, but they're definitely
No.
still in that hunt.
Yeah, and they get you guys next. Yeah, no shot.
Yeah. Well, they can't. They've got smoked 9-3 by the Habs. They can't beat anyone. Doesn't matter who they play.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You just said they're on a 6-game losing streak. Like,
Well, I'm saying like they're
I
actually
mean, like technically Buffalo's not
contention.
eliminated yet, but like I don't think
no,
any of
but
us are.
the Flyers are in way more contention than the Sabres are.
Yeah, that's
Flyers go
that's-
3-0 to finish the season. They are going to make the playoffs. That's what I like.
Even though they got
Sabres go 3-0.
stomped last night.
Sabres go 3-0. They're still not making the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely not. But
Well,
no,
they need help.
I kind of want to talk about this wild card race because it's heating up on the Eastern Conference side. The Western Conference side settled. The dust is settled. All 8 are in there, right? I believe they locked up a spot, or the Kings still waiting to officially clinch.
Kings have not
King,
clinched yet. The Predators did.
neither is Vegas. But I mean, it's all locked up. It's all but locked up.
If Vegas wins tonight, they move into the 3 spot in the Pacific, and the Kings move back to the wild card.
Yeah, that's not too much of an interesting wild card race. But let's talk about Huff's boys. They're in the thick of it, grabbing points against good teams left and right. How's it looking now? What are you guys thinking? That pesky Isles team took down the best team in the league right now. That's the team I am worried about if I'm any of the teams in the Eastern Conference, is the Isles to get in. But who do you guys think should get into this spot? Huff, can you guys do it?
I mean, I said it last Wednesday. I said the season was that Capitals game. They went into Washington, got a 4-1 win. You bounce back. They tried to blow a 4-1 lead on Saturday against the Lightning. They eke out a 5-4 win after the Lightning fought back to tie that game. You get a loser point in Toronto. They're just, like you said, they're just getting points against good teams. I'm going to say it again. Our season is really going to come down to this game tomorrow against Detroit, who's a point behind us. You need to beat them. You move ahead of them by 3 points if you do.
Y'all tied
think
up.
we are. We have the same amount of games played too.
Yeah, same games played, same points. They have 2
Same
more
points,
wins
you're
than
right.
you guys too.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. The schedules are the wins, and we just have more overtime losses. Is how we got our points. But yeah, you got to beat Detroit tomorrow night. It starts tomorrow night. You can't look ahead to that Bruins game. You can't look ahead to any of these other games the rest of the way. We obviously got 4 left. 4 really good teams. Detroit, all teams that are in the playoffs or in the hunt. Home against Detroit, home against the Bruins, home against the Predators, and then you end the season next Wednesday on Long Island against the Islanders. That could be a big one as well.
That's crazy.
Not
I
a
love
place
that.
you
I
wanna
love
play
that
right now,
schedule,
but
though. I love that schedule. It makes for some must-watch hockey. Not fun for you. You got a little bit of a gauntlet ahead of you, but if you want to make it, you got to beat good teams. The one
I
thing
like that they're home games though.
yeah, you know what might be nice too? You said you have the Bruins, then who's after the Bruins?
Red Wings Thursday, Bruins Saturday, Predators Monday, all home games, and then the Islanders next Wednesday to end the season.
You might catch some resting too. If the Bruins and Preds can't really change their positioning too much, you might be able to catch a lighter slate.
That's what I was thinking too.
I don't think the Bruins, maybe the Predators, but I mean, you don't really see people sit out in the NHL.
The Bruins did the last few years. They've had like AHL
Bruins
roster.
also had 16 points in the next best.
No,
team
but I've
last
seen. I
year.
feel like every few years, like every year almost, there's always at least 1 or 2 games where you get that full AHL roster.
I think you need that win
Penguins,
tomorrow
I
night.
know the Penguins
I
used to do it. Crosby would never sit, but they'd sit a lot of the guys other than Crosby. Just because Crosby, I assume, would be like, I'm not sitting.
Mackie, you're right. Maybe if it was a game or 2 later, maybe that happens against the Caps, and the Caps get a lucky break. But that's our next game. We have 3 left. That it's not going to be that one.
Yeah, you won't do it this early.
Yeah.
You guys, I think the Penguins need to win tomorrow. I think it in reg would be huge, but you need 2 points.
You can't.
Tomorrow
Yeah,
night.
you can't give
The
Detroit.
Red Wings have. You guys just have such a hard schedule. The Red Wings play the Habs 2 more times to end the season. I mean, if they can't,
That's
get
why we
that
have.
done,
That's
then
why we
on
have to
them,
beat them
but
tomorrow night. Like you
you
said,
have
in
to win.
regulation, you
You-
get 2 points.
even if they get a point, it's not the end of the world. But you guys need 2 points tomorrow for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think though? I think I don't know if either of them
Dude,
even
look at
get
the
in.
gauntlet ahead of them.
No, I know. I don't think either of them get in.
Who, the Penguins or the Red Wings?
Yeah.
He
And
loves
Caps
these
are shit in the
Islanders.
bed, dude.
I think the Islanders are the best team in that group. I've been saying it for 3 weeks now. I feel like maybe
Isles-
4. They are though.
Isles are locked in. They're locked into that 3 spot though. I think.
Yeah, I agree. And then the Caps too. They have the game in hand, and they have 2, or they have at least 1 easy game. I think they have a gimme right here. If they win that one, then they're what, 3 points up on you guys with the same amount of games.
They
With
have
what
a
would
gimme
you
the
say?
last game of the season. That's it. That's the only gimme I think they have.
Oh, I think the Sabres game is.
No way, dude. They got outshot 38-19 against the Red Wings, and they got lucky because Charlie Lindgren had a good game.
Yeah, and the last
Caps are
time
playing
they
like
played
shit
them,
right now.
What
Yeah.
team are you guys
Caps are
talking
playing
about?
like absolute
Caps.
shit.
Caps and Sabres.
Caps are not playing well down the stretch at all. They're holding on by a thread.
So
Buffalo's
Mac,
If
favored
we're gonna be
tomorrow,
honest, I think
-35.
the two most likely teams to get that 3rd spot are the Penguins or the Red Wings. And I've switched that up because I was on the Caps. They're not playing well down the stretch. They can't get wins. They got a nice win against the Red Wings. I don't want to say that actually, but they're not playing well down the stretch whatsoever. And they eked that game out.
wow, the Red Wings do have the friendliest schedule, huh?
I think the winner of
That's
that
what I'm
game, that
saying.
Penguins-Red Wings game tomorrow night, gets that second wildcard spot.
I agree. I actually 100% agree. And I think that I think the Red Wings can get in even if they lose that game, but I think the Penguins.
Yeah, they
win
have
and
a
go home.
friendly schedule. That's winner go home for the Penguins. You're right.
Mackie, are you sending you guys sending the Flyers packing tomorrow night?
Flyers are already packing, dude. They've already packed up.
packing their
Earth's
own
getting
bags.
lit up.
No, I know, but after they
I'm
play
not-
you guys, they have two lighter games.
Flyers,
Yeah.
dude, they
No.
just got blown out 9-3 to the.
No, I know. That's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
they-
If they can
they can
somehow
play the Blue Jackets
yeah,
and lose.
they're in
I was going to say
shambles.
6-2 to Columbus the game before.
And Mackie, what
Yeah, I
has
mean-
it been? It's been that goalie failure. Erson, Fedotov.
Listen to the schedule. This light schedule that they had in their last six losses. Canadians lost 4-1 at home against the Blackhawks. Lost 5-1. They got a point against the Islanders. Lost to the Sabres 4-2. Lost to the Jackets 6-2. Lost to the Canadians 9-3. They have no chance. They have absolutely.
The
no
Flyers
chance. They
haven't
just
won a
lost,
game since the 23rd of March.
I saw something that like 16 days ago they had like a 95% chance to make the playoffs, and today they have 4.
That's crazy. Yeah, I guess I think it's still going to be the Caps somehow. But yeah, it's either the winner of that Wings Pens game or the Caps. I think the Isles are locked.
I will say this. Pens have 9 points. They have points in 9 of their last 10 games, so they're finding ways to get the job done no matter who they're playing. They just went in. They just had to play.
They're
just had to play
definitely one of
Leafs,
the hottest
Lightning
teams in
back-
hockey right now. There's
They
always
just
a
had to play
team that
the
gets
Leafs.
You
inspired
want to know
towards the end of
something
the
that's
season.
tough though for Huff is that he was on these Red Wings too, and it looked like the Penguins are out. He's like, I hope the Red Wings get in. I'm a Red Wings fan, and now he's got to take them out and get a little bit of
Yeah.
help for his Pens to get in.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a shitty situation to be in almost because like, how far do you think the Penguins can even go if they get in? Like, I don't think it's a Panthers scenario.
I think
I'll take the
with these
Pants.
teams, I'm gonna go with it's Crosby. I think the Caps or Crosby has got to be one of them. I think the Red Wings, not on them. The Isles, it's just that best goaltender really vaulted them to the top of that bubble.
I think out of the
Carlos was
out of the
playing.
Caps, Penguins, and Red Wings, who has the most likely chance to give you guys a run for your money? The Penguins.
Yeah, out of those 3 teams for sure.
You guys would sweep the Red Wings.
I think we could sweep you guys, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't think you would, but yeah, we can agree to disagree there.
Well, I mean,
Huff,
I don't
cross
think
that
we're
bridge
going
when
to,
you
but
get
I
it.
The
wouldn't-
Rangers do not play well at PPG Paints Arena.
And the Penguins always play good at MSG. I would take that. That's who I'd want to
Mackie,
see.
would you be worried if you saw the Pittsburgh Penguins on your schedule?
No, I'm not worried about any of
With
these
the
teams,
president,
but,
would you be
like,
worried if you had
they
the
have nothing to
President's
lose
trophy?
here. They
If
have
you
nothing to
had the
lose here. I'm
President's
gonna walk into the series and be like, I don't know, dude. You gotta be careful. Those Penguins play really well. And then when we win 4-1, he's gonna be like, dude, we had nothing to play for. We barely even squeaked in. It's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen. It happened last
Mackie,
time.
Mackie,
remember-
what
I was
if
gonna say, I remember
Artemi
last time you
Panarin
said
grabs the
we took it to
President's
a
trophy,
7-game
rubs it on the
series in
bald
double
head,
overtime.
then goes into Pittsburgh?
You guys are both
think
just
they're
keep
nervous?
talking, man. Like,
You think they're nervous
what'd
then?
you say?
You think they're nervous
What?
then? What if you guys get that President's trophy, Artemi Panarin rubs it on his bald head, and then they go into PPG Paints Arena and still slap them 6-0? You think you're gonna be worried then?
No,
Me
I
or
don't think
him?
I'm gonna be worried about the Penguins at all.
No,
If
I
they
don't
get the President's
that-
trophy, I'll feel great about it.
Yeah, I think that's Huff's only saving grace.
I can't wait. I actually really want to play the Penguins now because Huff seems all excited to play the Rangers. Like,
I
you want
am.
to play us? You
Alex
can get us if you
Nedeljkovic,
want.
game
You can
one.
get us. You guys got a little work to do, but you can get us if you want to get there.
Hottest team in hockey right now. There's always a team that gets in the playoffs. Last year it was Florida.
Hottest team in
We're going to
hockey
the
is
Cup.
the New York Rangers.
We
Okay.
just lost last
You guys are
night.
just the hottest team
Just
out of
lost
this
to-
dumpster
just
fire
lost to
trying
this-
to get into the playoffs.
Just lost to your cross city rival, the Islanders, who are good.
We've
another
won
team
10
that's
out of our
crossed
last
over.
12.
All right, we'll see. I'm telling you, playoffs are a different ball game. We'll see.
You're right.
I've
but
seen
the
I've
Penguins
seen
are-
my team do it.
The Penguins are not the hottest team in hockey. They're the hottest team out of this dumpster fire of a playoff race that's going on.
Okay, you just named the teams that they've gotten points against. But okay,
Who?
You
Leafs.
just
Yeah,
said
they-
9 out of the last
Lightning.
10 games they got points.
They're
Doesn't matter who
playing
they
good
play.
hockey, but they are not the hottest team in the NHL. They're the hottest team out of this dumpster fire of a playoff race.
All right,
They've
all
also lost 4 out of their last 10. They just got points.
find a way.
I need this playoff matchup like I need air. It's already getting the boys livid.
Need air.
Mackey's New York Rangers, dude. They're trying to prove themselves so
I
badly.
would love it just because Mackey's right. I mean, I have nothing to lose. 3 Stanley Cups in my lifetime. Just get Crosby in one last time. We didn't make the playoffs last year. Last time we did, we took his Rangers to 7 games, double overtime. Panarin scores to end the series in MSG. I'll take that
I was
chance
there.
every day.
Huff, I'll
I
tell
was
you
there.
what, this
Was
might be
there.
the best case scenario for you guys to go into the playoffs. You get a little taste of the playoffs. Who knows what can happen? Say you do go in and get blown out by the Rangers, though. Maybe that's a signal to this management that you guys have. Let's reset this team.
Oh
Let's
yeah, I
figure it
mean
out.
they're not going to, but yeah, I mean you would think that that's what they would think.
Yeah. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting wild card race down the stretch. A lot of teams vying for it. Big games. I love that we get Red Wings Pens as a matchup too very soon. Very telling for what's coming down the stretch.
Lots of good stuff, boys. Let's keep it here in the NHL. After seeing some more graphics of the Yotes new stadium in Arizona that they got approved for, there's more scuttlebutt about them moving to Utah now. There's Kevin Weeks talking about a team in Atlanta. You guys have any thoughts on this? What are you thinking, Ace? I think you put this in here.
Yeah, I saw a lot of talk today. I think is that's been gaining legs like the past 24, 48 hours going to Utah. I've seen like Spit and Chicklets covering it, a lot of NHL analysts covering it. They're asking about names, Utah offering up like what the name could be for the team and whatnot. I mean, it's just interesting to me. I also heard stuff about a week ago, I feel like, of Arizona. If they get their bid approved, they can get a new stadium there. So I don't really know what's going to happen. I feel like it's been boiling for the past 3 to 5 years, something going on with the Coyotes. But I just want something to happen because I don't want them playing in Mullet Arena anymore. I don't want them being the joke of the league. You're not going to be able to get good as an organization until you really establish your future.
They'll be the joke of the league if they go back to Arizona because that could be one of the dumbest
Agreed.
business moves. It didn't work when they were there originally. They couldn't get out of there fast enough.
Yep.
I think you cannot go to Atlanta if you're the NHL.
No, I agree. I agree there. I think
Oh,
Utah's the
no
growing
way.
city. They want to put multiple sports in that city. So
And the Jazz owner's ready to write the check for the arena. He's not even asking the city to pay for it.
yeah, it's
And
crazy.
the Yotes are on
Or
the
they're,
come
or
up.
they're just going to play. He already owns the Jazz's arena. That's probably where they're going to play. I didn't even think about that.
Mackie, they're always on the come up though. They just have these young guys that are supposed to be on a come up, and then it just kind of falls flat on its face.
Yeah, but last year, I mean, they were the joke of the league, and this year, I mean, they put up points.
Yeah, like they were decent. That's like every few years stretch, and you're like, maybe they can build on this. Oh wait, they can't. But Clayton Keller's still going to stick there and do his thing out west. But yeah, I hope they can get back to relevancy at some point. A new stadium, new city would be kind of cool for the NHL. They've already embraced the last two pretty well. So
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, our last point here in the NHL. 5 days ago, the longtime Boston Bruin and current captain Brad Marchand reached the 400 goal threshold. The future Hall of Famer has his Bruins jockeying for the top seed in the Eastern Conference. Is this team set up for a deeper playoff run this year? You guys keyed in on a lot of the other teams here, but not much on the Bruins. Ace, what do you think?
yeah, I mean, not much to be talked about because they had much higher expectations last year. I feel like this is a good thing. Which is crazy. Coming into the season, everybody's like, "Oh, we're not going to see this again." You lost Bergeron, you lost Krejci, you lost Bertuzzi, you lost Orlov. The list goes on and on. They were supposed to be in a cap reduction year, and they're still the best team in the Atlantic, the best division in hockey, right? And I think they might be able to make a run in the playoffs because what do you need? Good goaltending. I know sometimes these past recency has shown that Mackey might bring up some Stanley Cup champions, but good goaltending can keep you in any series. And I think having the tandem, I think they might actually run the tandem the way they've been running all regular season in the playoffs, which would be cool to see. I don't think we've really seen that in our lifetime in every other distinct setup going into the playoffs. So I think they could definitely make some noise, especially with the Leafs or Lightning, whoever they end up getting. I don't think they're going to grab the 1 seed, but Mackie, let me know what you think about my Bruins.
Yeah, definitely a very scary team. It's just the road is tough, man. You got to play the Lightning, most likely Lightning first round. Then you got to play most likely the Panthers, and then you're gonna have to play probably either the Rangers or the Hurricanes. It's just probably the hardest run to the playoffs or to the Stanley Cup we've ever seen. And on top of that, this Bruins team, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing them at all, but they do lose a lot of games, whether it's overtime or not. They have 33 losses on the season, which is way more than any other team at the top of that list. So I mean, they haven't been able to close out games the best this year. So that does kind of raise my eyebrows a little bit more with them. But I mean, this roster is loaded. They have the goalie tandem. They have the veteran presence as well. Obviously, when Brad Marchand's running the team, it's always a good thing. This is definitely a very, very scary team to look out for. But I mean, the East is a gauntlet. So I mean,
It could
any
be
team
any
you
of
really
those
run
top
into
four.
down the stretch, it's going to be tough.
I personally think you guys would handle the Lightning. I'm
I
not
do
saying it would be
too.
a sweep or a 5-game
No,
series, but
I think they will for sure. But it's like it's not going to be easy. You think
No,
they
that's
handle
a
them in 5 games?
No, I
I
said
want
I
to
don't
say
think
6.
4 or 5. I was gonna say probably 6.
It's the Boston
Yeah.
Bruins. My whole life, regardless of what they do in the long run, they
The games
love
they
going
lose will be in
7.
overtime. Like,
They love going 7 every time, win or lose. We know we're gonna get a show in the first round. In the TD Garden, I saw something today. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was voted as like the third by the players. They do those player polls of all different accolades, like best stick handler, best passer, toughest place to play, uh, who you'd want on the ice if you're trying to win a game, yada yada. And TD Garden came in at number 3 as the players voting on toughest
Toughest
places
place
to
to
play.
play.
Yeah, so that's a good thing to have
What was
under our
one?
belt.
Just
I can't
curious.
remember. Yeah, I don't know if I sent it to you guys, but I'll look for it later today and make sure I send that out. But I saw TD Garden up there in 3. I was like, yeah, that's about makes sense. But this Bruins team, I kind of just have to give them one more pat on the back before we get into the playoffs here, just to announce that playoff date coming up soon. I mean, they were supposed to be literally retooling. Like this was supposed to be the off year, maybe miss the playoffs. A lot of people projected like Senators or someone to be on the come up and take that playoff spot, and they're still leading their division. And they have a ton of cap space coming in the new season. So just great to see. Jimmy Montgomery doesn't get talked about enough as a coach because his winning percentage since she's took over last year is insane. And he literally is doing it. You just lost Patrice Bergeron, probably one of the best leaders in the league. And you lost David Krejci. You lost your top 2 centers. Didn't even replace them. You just moved up your 3rd and 4th line center. And they're still doing the same exact thing. It's just crazy to see, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
no,
didn't really
I
think this team was gonna have really a down year. I mean, I made that mistake 2 years ago, and they ended up with 130 points. But I mean, I definitely didn't expect them to be top 3 in the league again.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I had just shouted out. But I do have the stat up again. Which arena is the toughest to play in as a visiting team? Number 1 was T-Mobile Arena. So that's out there in Vegas, right?
It's because
Yeah.
it's a fucking show more than a
Yeah,
hockey game.
it's probably
Yeah.
they probably the players probably just took it as toughest place to go to, right?
Yeah, because you gotta stay in Vegas too. And
Number
not do
2,
anything.
this one makes sense. I think you guys could probably have guessed this one.
Toronto?
No, it's Carolina.
I was thinking Toronto as well. Carolina, that does surprise me. I'm not gonna lie.
Think about their
Yeah,
streaks.
that
though.
surprises me.
Think about that what do they call
Just
them?
recently.
Yeah, that streak they have in the playoffs. They don't lose at home. The crazy fans down the Caniacs.
What do they used to do the bunch of jerks?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Bunch of jerks, like their post game stuff. You had the Garden at 3. Coming at 4 was Ball Arena in Denver. That's probably more so because of the Avs.
Altitude.
And the atmosphere and
Yeah,
everything.
number 5 is Montreal, Quebec, just because it's probably the historic, like, and those fans are pretty rowdy. Some other quick ones, if you guys want me to just read you the tops of the list. I think these are pretty interesting. I could send you the post too, but if you need to win one
Well,
game,
like, where's PPG in the Garden?
they're doing top 5 for everything here.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were. Right.
Yeah, if you need to win one game, who is the forward you want on your team? McDavid at 1 with almost 50%. Your boy Crosby at 2, and then McKinnon, Kucherov, and Panarin. If you need to win one game, who's a defenseman you want on your team? Over 50% said Makar, and then low amount said Hedman, then Yossi, then Hughes, and 2% said your boy Fox. If you need win,
Fox getting disrespected.
I like the Yossi pick
That
actually.
was Hughes.
Yossi and
That was
Hedman.
Hughes. Hughes being disrespected in that too.
You think
Hughes,
though?
I think, is a top 2 defenseman in the league.
They are. I think they're better than Hedman and Yossi, but Hedman and Yossi come playoff time, they play a playoff brand of hockey, and
That's more
log
what they've done. Yeah, they have the experience to whatever
they
situation.
eat shots,
they're
they
in, they've
make
been in.
hits, they fight, they're tough. Like they're tough. They're built for the playoffs. If you need to win one game, who's the goalie you want? Vazzy at 50%, Shesterkin at 6, then Shesterkin, Sorokin, Hellebuck, and then Saros. So Sorokin right there. That's why I think those Isles are so pesky. Some cooler ones. Who's the best stick
He hasn't
handler?
been playing. I don't know why.
Yeah, Varlamov's good too. They probably have one of the best backups in the league. Best stick handler, McDavid winning that with a bunch of guys after him. Most complete player, your boy Crosby easily winning that one by a large margin.
What was the percentage on that?
Almost 40. He's at 38%, 38.5. Barkov coming in at 2. Kopitar at 3. McDavid at 4. That's kind of crazy to me. And McKinnon at 5.
Barkov at 2. That's I mean,
He's
that's a good,
he's the new Selke guy though.
yeah.
Without
That's,
Bergeron.
I was gonna say that is a good.
Kopitar at 3, surprising to me, but he's been doing it for so long, leading teams. He has 2 Stanley Cups as well.
Yeah, he's been there. Yeah,
Some other cool ones: best breakout passer, Makar won that one. Best playmaker, Kucherov won that. If you need to win a faceoff, who would you pick? My boy Bergeron's gone, so this one's really close. The highest percent
Where's
out of it,
Trocheck?
highest percent out of everybody was 14. It went Ryan O'Reilly at 14, Crosby at 13.
I would have guessed him in the top 5 for sure.
Crosby at 13.5, right behind him. At 3, they had Claude Giroux, which is crazy to me because he plays on the wing a lot. Luke Glendening at 4, and then Jordan Stahl, who I think is actually a great pick there at number 5. Um,
Damn, Trocheck's not in there.
Yep, and then another weird one. This to me seemed like the players wanting a vacation more so than what they thought should be great expansion for the league. They said, which global destination would you most like to see host NHL games?
Cabo.
No, it was Italy was number 1. I'm like, that's cool.
Cabo.
But like these rich NHL players want to go to Italy. They had Sweden at 2. That's cool because that would actually help grow the game because there's so many good players in Sweden. England at 3, that'd be pretty sick. Then Switzerland and France. So I think it's more of just the players wanting to travel around Europe, personally. But I'll send you guys this whole post. It had some cool stats.
That'd be funny if they were like Cabo, the Bahamas. They just said all these like tropical ass places, and they're like, "Yeah, let's just go there for a week."
Yeah, right. I just think it's cool to get the players pull like their perspective, the guys who are in the league, like what they think about the league. I always think
Yeah,
that's
because
cool
I mean,
to watch.
us dumbasses can sit here and argue whatever we want. It's definitely their opinion. Like, if that's who they want, I mean, I trust what they're saying.
Agreed.
Lots of good stuff there out of the NHL. Moving on to the college basketball world here as March Madness is wrapped up here. The Yukon Huskies have officially secured back-to-back national titles for the first time since 2006, 2007, when the Florida Gators completed their back-to-back. Is this Yukon team the best team we've seen in our lifetime of watching college basketball? What are you guys thinking here as March Madness has wrapped up? Very successful season here for you guys, for us. What do you guys got?
The simple answer here is just yes. Like, yeah, it's easily the best 2-year run we've ever seen. And the crazy thing about it is that they have 3 players from this year's starting 5 that didn't even play last year. They weren't even on the team last year. So, I mean, what Dan Hurley has been able to do with this route with this team in the last 2 years, it's just kind of incredible. And the 5 players, the 5 starters are just, I mean, you can't make a better starting 5 in college basketball. Definitely the most dominant run we've seen. Huff, what do you think about this one?
The only team that comes to mind, I mean, I don't really remember watching those Florida teams. The only other team for me that comes to mind is the 38-2 Kentucky in 2012. Anthony Davis, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. That team was probably one of the most dominant I've seen. I mean, this Yukon team, it's hard to argue. Yeah, they won it all. It's hard to argue. That was the year that was Cal's only ring in Kentucky.
Cat didn't win it. That team.
No, that was the team that went undefeated until the national championship.
No, it was a Final Four. They lost to Wisconsin. I remember I picked it. That's why.
Oh yeah, that was the what was it? What was the
Wisconsin lost
national
to
championship that year? That was the
Wisconsin lost to Duke that year.
Frank Kaminsky national championship year, right?
Yeah, but
the year they
lost.
lost.
Duke.
Yeah, the year they lost. But that's the only other team that comes to mind
Sam
for me.
Decker.
I'm biased because I did always root for Kentucky. I'd love to see those two teams in their prime go up against each other. But that Yukon team, they're just so deep. It's hard to argue with. 6-0 against the spread, winning 12 games in the tournament, or every game in the tournament this year by double-digit points. Like
that's
it was
insane.
Yeah, like it was never close. Like I will say this, I wasn't that excited for this Final Four because I could have closed my eyes and been like, "Yep, that's what was going to happen." Like you knew it was going to be UConn.
How many times did we card UConn spread this tournament though?
None. No, that's what I was just saying. Last week we both had this conversation. How we're like, we're gonna look back on this and be like, we're so fucking stupid for not taking UConn every game, and we still didn't take them.
Final, I faded you guys. I had to just because I couldn't miss out. That's a crazy streak. Are you kidding me? I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Purdue is also 5-0 against the spread in
no, but dating back to last year, Mackie, that's crazy.
I mean, this is a very different team than it was last year for UConn. Like they had Andrew Hawkins. They lost a lot of guys. Like the fact that they did this again is just like Mackie said. It's just props to Dan Hurley for what he's built up there. I mean, back to the Jim Calhoun days in UConn when they won in 2011 with Kemba Walker. Like this is something that's been building for the past however many years. Everyone's showing that interview with Dan Hurley. Get us while we're down now because we're coming. Bang, back-to-back national titles. It's 12-0 against the spread in the last 2 March Madness tournaments, but. If they do this again, I can't. I'll officially hate UConn forever.
What's crazy is there's so much chatter about it around Rhode Island because, like I said, former URI coach, so people are heavily invested in Dan Hurley, and not too far from UConn itself. A lot of UConn bandwagon fans and people who went there and whatnot. So people are living.
Are there Providence fans up there? Like you live in Rhode Island. Like do people not hate UConn? I'd hate UConn if I lived in Rhode Island.
It's split between URI and PC. Like that's like a big rivalry. URI PC.
Yeah, but like PC's Big East.
Yeah, no, but the people who are PC hate them. But a lot of people love the people who aren't PC fans love
the Rhode
UConn
Island guys
because they
support him
love
because
Dan
of Hurley.
Hurley. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a big split that
You
way.
guys, you see what Kentucky offered Dan Hurley?
What?
No, was there an actual
11
number
mil.
that threw out?
11 mil over like 5 to 7 years, which would be higher than like any coach ever, like more than Kirby Smart.
He said he won't do it, but money talks. I've seen
How do
crazier
you
shit.
turn
in
that
college
down,
basketball.
man?
I've seen crazier shit in any other league. Like I think he gets paid 6.5 at UConn. Like they're doubling his salary.
It's higher than any college coach ever.
I'd rather live in Connecticut area than Kentucky, though. I wouldn't.
That's the
I wouldn't
thing.
lie.
I mean, it is. Yeah, but I feel like it's more
I don't
like
know, Lexington
intimate when you're in
probably pretty
Kentucky.
nice.
Like everyone in Kentucky likes University of Kentucky. I mean, I guess Connecticut.
College
there's some
basketball
sports
is
in Connecticut.
Kentucky.
But do you think he's
basketball,
trying to make his legacy based off of UConn, though? Like he's going to be there for a while.
Yeah, I mean he went back to back. I don't know. You can't leave after going back to back. Like at least I don't think you can.
If the price is
I don't
right,
think you
can.
can. Believe me, Mackie. I'm the ones. I also said the same thing, but I think the fit for the Kentucky job that if Hurley turns it down, give me Rick Pitino back with the Kentucky Wildcats. That's where he started at. He said his biggest regret ever was leaving Kentucky. Let's get Rick Pitino back to Kentucky. That would be great. Obviously, Calipari down in Arkansas now. Musselman went over to USC. There was a big shakeup of where all these coaches went. That's how it happens every year. But
I
there's
saw
a couple people said they weren't out yet, and Rick Pitino is one of them. I'd love to see Rick Pitino get this Kentucky job.
what's the Baylor's coach name again?
Scott Drew, that's the one they're going after. But he
Yeah,
posted a
I think
picture
he's
today
gonna
with the athletic director at Baylor. They were having lunch, and he posted some like kiss ass message, and he was like having lunch at a great spot in Waco with my good friend or something like this. Like, and now people are like, oh, you're gonna hear a new contract for Scott Drew tomorrow morning. For if he stays with Baylor,
Yeah.
they have to give him more money.
Oh yeah, definitely. If he's getting offered by Kentucky,
I like him. I really like him. That's half the reason I always support Baylor basketball is just because I know he's a good coach. But yeah, I'd love to see Pitino, dude. I love him. I want to see him back in Kentucky.
Getting out of St. John's.
Yeah, fuck St. John's. I mean, I like him
Nah.
there, but like,
St. John's is big over here.
yeah, I know it's Big East, but like, come on, it's Rick Pitino.
Queens, baby.
That's where he started. That's where he started at. It was Kentucky. That'd be so cool to see him go back there.
Kentucky's just not what they once were, I don't think.
But I also think, and that's a perfect transition to this. I think this is a win-win for Cal and Kentucky. Kentucky, for the reason that the Tyson Chicken guy or whatever from Arkansas. Did you hear how this all went down?
No, I have no idea. I heard Calipari told Kentucky to match their offer, and they said, "Fuck you."
Well, he got less money, but they would have had to pay for his buyout. So the CEO of Tyson Chicken graduated from Arkansas. He's an Arkansas alumni, their biggest booster, their biggest whatever donator, whatever you want to call it. Came in, paid off the buyout or whatever he had to do for Kentucky, got the contract done, gave him I think it's 5 years, $35 million, so it's $7 million a year. He's making $1.5 million less than he was making in Kentucky. Cal, this is a win-win for him, in my opinion. You stay in the SEC, you stay at a program that's building up. No one wanted him left in Kentucky. Like the fans wanted him fired. All the buzz around town was, are we done with him? You look at their last 4 tournament appearances or 3 tournament appearances. They lose to a 15 seed in St. Peter's. They lose last year in the round of 32. They lose this year in the first round to Oakland. Like no one wanted Cal there anymore. And he even said it himself in that going away video where he said, I just think this group needs a new voice. This fan base needs a new voice. I want to move on. Because if they wouldn't have gotten to probably the Elite 8 next year, he was getting fired anyway. And then it's a lot easier to go get a job when you're not fired. He pulled the you can't fire me, I quit.
It's kind of big dick, not gonna lie.
Literally, he's like, Kentucky basketball is bigger than Calipari, but that's a move and it was a win-win for Kentucky because they didn't have to pay for his buyout. They would have owed him $33 million if they would have fired him the day after the Oakland game.
Wow.
I think that was that just worked out for both schools. I really think it did. And the best part is he has to go back to Lexington next year to play Kentucky.
Oh yeah, they're like almost rivals, I would say. Well, not rivals, but I mean
SEC, yeah, they're in the same conference in the SEC or the same division in the SEC.
Oh, he'll hear it, and he's probably gonna get smoked too.
We'll see how many Kentucky players go there too. Did you see 3 guys enter the transfer portal right after he announced he was moving?
Didn't, but I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, Reed
Kentucky's
Shepherd,
not going to get.
Dillingham, they're going to the NBA, but like you got to think he had a couple recruits lined up that wanted to play for Coach Cal. They don't want to play for Kentucky. So like
Well,
if he
I'm sure
leaves,
whoever Kentucky gets as well is like their coach is going to bring over players.
exactly.
They're not going to get a
Yeah.
slouch. They'll either get Hurley or
If they get Dan Hurley, yeah, you could think Stephon Castle. If he's not going to the NBA, is he going to transfer to Kentucky? Like,
yeah.
but yeah, I think it'll be interesting because I mean, Cal, everyone says he's a recruiter, not a coach. So like he always has the stud freshman. I think he'll find his guy in Arkansas. I think this truly was a win-win. And he's making less money.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
he
gonna be
doesn't need
cool.
the fucking money. He's made that much money for the past 15 years, 20 years.
Hopefully, we
probably.
could see Arkansas like a top of the SEC this year.
I'd like to see them.
new
I'd
name
like
up
to
there.
see him do good immediately. I don't
A
think.
new
I
name up
think it's
there would
going to
be
take
cool,
some.
too.
Exactly. I think it's going to take some time. But like, kind of like how Tennessee built that program up. Like Tennessee's always been good, but like this year they really made that next step where it's like they had Dalton Neck, they had Zakai Ziegler, they had those names that are like household names in the SEC. I think that's something that you'll see Calipari do in Arkansas in the next year or two. Next year is more realistic. Like next year, not this. You know, this
Yeah.
year just ended, not next season. Like the year after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Another point here in the college basketball world, Caitlin Clark's run of excellence shocked the college basketball world, yet she fell short in her road to glory as the powerhouse South Carolina Gamecocks defeated the Iowa Hawkeyes 87-75 to knock them out of the tournament. Any thoughts on this in the women's college basketball world?
I did not watch this game. I personally was more excited for the Iowa-UConn game just because of the household names. South Carolina is more of just a great team. They're building a dynasty down there. The perfect season. I thought it was written on the wall for Caitlin Clark to take them down in
Me
the
too.
national title, win the game, win the national championship, dethrone the undefeated South Carolina Gamecocks. But that team was just too good.
Yeah, I agree. I was more
I didn't
hyped
even
up.
watch the game.
Yeah, neither did I. I was more hyped up for the LSU Iowa matchup and the Iowa UConn matchup. It's just those personalities, kind of like we were talking about last week, Mac, if you remember that. I think I saw a quote today that said from one of the girls, they're like, it's crazy how a lot of people can name a few college basketball players from the girls' side, but not the men's side. Like, that's a valid point. I can name about the same amount from each. At least watching the tournament that helped way more, but maybe going into the tournament at least. It is kind of crazy how much it grew this 1 year. I think social media really did a big job of that.
So this class, 5 of them, this class is really
Who's the
developed the game
girl?
of college
Who's the
basketball.
girl that's the best player on South Carolina? Is it Cardosa or Cardoza?
Yeah, Camille Cardoso.
Is she the big
Like,
that's
she-
inside?
Like, but like, am I wrong? Like, she doesn't really like seem like she's like out in the news. Like, has a personality. Like, dude, I turn on my TV, I see Caitlin Clark on fucking commercials. I'm like,
Yeah.
Because Caitlin Clark is Caitlin Clark. I mean, South Carolina has 5 WNBA prospects. Iowa
Yeah.
has 1, and I don't know. Caitlin Clark, she can't be the women's college. She can't be the GOAT of college basketball
Without a
didn't have a
national
championship.
title? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
what
also
was her
like
name?
if you go back
Brianna
and you like
Stewart,
watch,
did you hear
like,
what she said?
dude, if you go watch, that's what I was about to say. Go back and watch highlights of Brianna Stewart. She was literally better than Caitlin Clark. Like unbelievable. This
And
girl
won
was
4
like
titles.
insane, dude. 4 straight and four straight like most like MVP, whatever it was.
But didn't she also
Um,
get there like in the middle of that UConn run where they
Yeah,
won? Like,
she was
so
a
many
part of
straight?
that team that never lost.
Well, when they won 123 games straight or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she was the reason that streak
was the
kept
reason, yeah,
going on.
yeah,
She,
I'm not, like,
she was
downplaying it, but I just-
absolutely incredible. I was
Did
watching
she
like,
play with
highlights.
Maya
Here's my
Moore?
question.
Might have been after her, but I saw highlights of like her March Madness run one year, and end of the first quarter it was 41-4 in one of the games.
Mhm.
I was like, that is like insane. 41-4 in a 10-minute quarter of women's basketball.
Maybe that's why the Caitlin Clark run's so crazy though, because you did it with Iowa. Like that's not UConn.
She's just transformed the game. Nobody in women's has ever shot the ball like she has. Nobody in women's has ever carried a team like Iowa like she has for 3 straight years, made them relevant. She's definitely like grown the
See, that's-
game.
I was
and, like,
gonna say,
had
that's
that
the argument
effect
that
on
I'd
the
make.
aspect.
That's the
Yeah,
argument that
yeah,
I'd make for
100%.
her
It's like
supporters
Steph.
that want to say she's the best. Like, she turned Iowa into a staple name in the world of women's college basketball, and it's like we all know you. Like Paige Becker's got to UConn, we were all like, okay, she's the next one to you win a national title with UConn. But it's like UConn women's basketball
It's
has
always
been
good.
it's been the standard for the past, I don't even know, since Gino got there. Like, he's the best he's really the only women's coach I can name off the top of my head. But like Mackie, you said it, what, 132 games straight? Like, that team's been loaded for
Yeah.
years. Like,
They're not what they once were, but I mean, it's still a powerhouse.
Yeah, it's just
Paige
crazy.
Becker-
It's just
Paige
crazy how
Becker's
Caitlin
coming
Clark,
back.
not only her, but the rest of the superstars. There's superstars in women's college basketball. It's crazy to see. That was probably the best women's college tournament ever.
I
And
saw this
coming into
morning.
college, all 5 of them were ranked top 5. Like they did not. Like,
They all
they were
lived up to the
they were
expectation.
they were hyped up coming into college, and they
were
all
that, and
lived
they
right
met
up
it.
to the
Yeah, that's
expectation.
cool.
And I saw this morning on Paige Becker's put on her story, she's coming back to UConn.
Yeah, she missed all last year. That was like a
she
given
was
she
like,
was going
she
back.
said something like, to have a full healthy season at UConn, like, so grateful, can't wait for next year. Meanwhile, like, you saw Caitlin Clark on her Instagram story, like, everyone knew she was going to the league, but like, she put the love y'all, like,
She
all
shouldn't.
these players are going to the
She
league,
should.
but it's like,
She should not go to the WNBA if I was her.
I'd probably stay back too. Yeah, I don't know. If you're the guaranteed number 1 overall pick, it's like, fuck it.
What, to go make $80,000 in the WNBA? Come on.
She'll have like a Nike deal, like Sabrina Ionescu when she
Oh,
was at
yeah.
Oregon. Like, she wasn't even that good, and like, she came out, she was a number 1 pick, and she immediately got like a $6 million a year Nike deal.
She can also go play in that big 3 league or the big baby
Do you
league.
think she'll actually
$3
do that?
million. She could do it and keep her eligibility to go to in the WNBA. Why not do it for 1 year, make the $3 million, and then you can go play in the WNBA?
You
Yeah,
imagine
and just
she,
split.
you imagine she does
Right,
that and just
that's what
goes
I'm
and
saying.
cooks a bunch of dudes. Everyone be like, "Holy fuck, this girl's actually really good."
Alrighty, boys. Lots of good stuff there out of the college basketball world. March Madness wrapped up as we get into the Masters and into the NBA and NHL playoffs here. Moving over to the NBA, our power rankings here. Coming in at number 5, the Dallas Mavericks. Number 4, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Number 3, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Number 2, the Denver Nuggets. And number 1, the Boston Celtics to wrap up our power rankings here for this week. What are we thinking here coming out of this list this week, Huff?
There's the Mavericks coming up, making a nice little appearance. Luka, Kyrie. This team's been obviously kind of surging towards that. They're clinching that playoff spot. They're currently sitting in that 5 spot right now. They're 9-1 in their last 10. Definitely on a nice little hot streak here for these Dallas Mavericks. Like seeing them slide in there. The top of this the standings hasn't really changed much in the NBA, per usual with the NBA though. Once these teams kind of establish how good they are, that's the NBA doesn't really switch up much. Similar to the NHL, it's kind of you have your top 4 teams and then everyone else behind them. Huge game. I think it's tonight, Minnesota, Denver. That's going to basically determine who the number 1 seed is in the West. Yes, correct. In Denver, Minnesota's a 5.5 point under, 6.5 point underdog. You're going to think Denver at least gets the win there, but I'm big on this Minnesota team. I definitely think they can give them a run for their money. The last time they played, I believe Denver absolutely whooped them in Minnesota. So
I think at home the defending champs will.
the Nuggets are looking to even the season series tonight. The Timberwolves won the last game in Denver, 111 to 198. Nuggets won in Minnesota, and then the Timberwolves won their first matchup of the year in Minnesota. So this is 4th matchup of the year, second one in Denver. If Timberwolves win this, they win the season series 3-1. But 6.5 point underdog. This is a huge game for the 1 seed in the West, who's going to get the home court throughout the playoffs. I think that'd be huge for a young team like Minnesota, but definitely have their hands full tonight in Denver.
Yeah, that should be an interesting one to watch as well. That Western Conference really just staying tight. It's been the same story we've been talking about. We just have to see how the Western Conference play-in shakes out. The seeding's so close. In the East, the story's already kind of written on where everybody's going to sit. The Celtics so far ahead of the rest, and then you have that middling path teams: the Bucks, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Pacers and the Sixers. The Heat down there in that playing game. Other than that, I don't think there's any other teams that can really make any noise. But it'll be interesting to follow. We're going to have a lot more coverage of the NBA as we get to the playoffs. That's going to be when the real games start getting played. Because the NBA, everybody's going to get there, but the play-in is when it's must-watch TV.
You think these Sixers can slide out of this play-in?
Like slide up and take the Pacers? We talked about that last week, right? No, yeah, I don't think so, just because of the way the schedule sits with what's remaining.
2 games left. Do they have the tiebreaker?
I don't know.
Pacers have to go to Cleveland next.
Sixers have 2 games left: home against Orlando and then home against Brooklyn.
So I mean, Pacers still have to go to Cleveland. I think they lose that game. So if they have the tiebreaker, they probably will get that spot. But I don't know if
Yeah.
they do or not.
Because they could end with the same record. I could see the Pacers end 1-1 and Sixers end 2-0, and they're a game behind the Pacers right now. I don't know. I don't think that Pacers team is as good as they actually are. I
They're
have no
not.
faith in them to do anything.
But
Same
they're
with the
just
Magic.
they were just
Same
stable.
kind of scenario. The East is weak too. I mean,
I just hope the
46
Celtics.
and 30.
I just
I
hope
don't
the
care who
Celtics
gets out of
haven't
that
been.
play-in.
I just hope they haven't been too off the rip for too long going into the playoffs because like this basketball doesn't matter what they're playing. I think they had a game last night that lasted less than 2 hours against the Bucks.
Was that in Milwaukee? Milwaukee got the win there, right?
Yeah, the Celtics played terrible, but what do they have to play for? They're 14 games up on the second place team.
Yeah, they clinched the best record in the whole NBA, not even just the East.
Yeah, craziness. Just get healthy, get there. That West though is going to be fun to watch. I'm going to have my eyes on that tonight. It'd be something if the Thunder can somehow grab that top seed. They're only 1 game back, so it's not impossible. But
Who do they have left?
they have 3 games left. They have the
That's-
Spurs, the Bucks, and the Mavs. So 2 tough games.
Ooh. Both at home, the last 2?
Bucks haven't been tough.
I think
man.
all 3 are at the last.
Getting beat by everyone, except for last game. But obviously, Celtics don't really care right now.
Minnesota to end the year they're in Denver tonight. We already talked about that one. Then home against Atlanta, home against Phoenix. What's the Nuggets have left? They have 3 games as well.
Yeah,
not-
it's 3 cakewalks too. Well, 2 cakewalks. And you
it's
assume they
Spurs
win at
and the
home.
Grizzlies. It doesn't. Those games could be on Mars, and the Nuggets would cover.
Alrighty, boys. Next point here in the NBA, the Bucks get good news after Giannis. I can't say it.
Giannis.
Giannis. Oh my god. After Giannis's MRI, does anybody have more details on that?
Mackie, I think you said that in our chat when you were like, Giannis goes down. I was like, yo, no way. That was going to be massive. And then I was looking it up again, and it was like,
Non-contact.
Yeah, that's sketchy.
Non-contact. But no, he's just out for the regular season. They're keeping a real good eye on it. He might miss like a game or 2 to start the playoffs, but wouldn't count on it. And Bucks really have been struggling big time.
Well,
Other
what's
than that win
nice for
last
these,
night-
what's nice for the top teams that clinch the 1 through 6 spot is you got to wait for the play-in. So it's like you have like 5 days
Yeah,
to get
to
healthy.
rest and get healthy.
it's 2 days.
Oh, it is?
Back-to-back days, right?
Yeah, it's 2 days. 2
But what
days.
if it go? Isn't it? So like, isn't it the 10
So
seed
the
has
last
to
ga-
win? Oh no, it
Oh, wait,
can't
never
go to
mind,
3
I'm wrong.
games.
You're right. So the last game of the season is the 14th, and the last playing game is the 19th.
Oh, shit.
So it is 5
So you're
days.
right. But I'm sure that the 20th starts the games.
Yeah.
Yes,
they did.
20th
Start
is the
the
first day
playoffs.
of games for the playoffs for the NBA.
Yeah. So they have
It's like also
6
the
days.
Bu-
Yeah.
Certain
5
teams will
5
get
free
lucky
days.
and have that extra day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see. But who's really scared of the Bucks right now?
I mean, I wouldn't be.
Sixers? That's who they could be playing.
That'd be a good
That'd be a
series.
great series in the first round. Imagine if we get Celtics, Heat, and Sixers, Bucks in the first round.
You guys would sweep the Heat.
No, I know, but that's
Yeah,
still
that's
it's
not
still
even-
better than playing anybody else from the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
You get 2
I don't care-
marquee cities at least.
Whatever team
Rashi
you guys
Rice.
get out of that play-in is a sweep.
You think?
Rashi Rice
Maybe a
is facing
gentleman's
8
sweep.
charges.
Oh, that just got released?
Yeah, it just dropped.
I think we're about to talk about some NFL here soon, so you might as well roll that in.
Yeah, let's shift over to the NFL here. First point, Eagles and Packers facing off the first ever Brazil game where they match up in week 1 and they head to Sao Paulo. What are you guys thinking about this one? I think it's pretty interesting they're going down there.
Sucks.
Pretty cool.
Sucks as a regular season game, though, I think.
Yeah.
In week
Well,
1?
I didn't even see
All
that.
I can say is I'm glad it's not my team.
Yeah, literally Huff. Week 1 too. Like that's such a tough week in general, but I guess it's a throwaway week in some sorts. I don't know. I mean, it's not too far of a travel either, though. It's not like going to Europe or anything, right? How much?
It's worse than going to Europe.
Really?
Brazil is
For-
far, dude.
Brazil's like 11
Yeah.
hours from Pittsburgh.
Especially
flight-wise.
from like Wisconsin.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
deep.
It's pretty far.
And they're not gonna have a bye in week 2 or anything.
No, correct.
It's shot. I
So-
wouldn't want
They
to start
probably
my season
both-
that way.
They probably both have home games week 2 though, so they don't have to travel the second week.
I bet you one of them play Monday night too.
Yeah, that's a good.
That's a good. Is the schedule released?
No, May maybe like a month from today, actually.
Why the
Maybe
fuck
not
isn't
though,
it
Mackie. They might not get
released?
because that's going to be a primetime game for or that's going to be what time is that game going to be? Do you think?
Probably gonna be Sunday morning. It's gonna be a Sunday morning game.
Yeah. Well, actually, will it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The time
Time is it
difference
in
isn't
Brazil right now?
Time difference is only an
Yeah.
hour from East Coast.
Hey Siri, what time is
noon,
it in Brazil?
so it will be
Are
a
you
new
sure?
game. Do you think it'll be a
8:08
noon game,
p.m.
Jesse?
in Brazil. They're an hour ahead of us.
Or you think they throw them in the midday
Yeah, but
slot?
that's not really what I'm not really talking about the time difference. I'm more talking about like the travel aspect. Like they'll probably give them a Sunday night game and a Monday night game the following week.
No.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely
I agree with
play
that. Yeah,
Sunday
yeah.
night and Monday night the following week.
Imagine they turn around and throw them on Thursday Night Football or something.
They could never.
That'd just be diabolical.
They don't even do that to teams that have a home Monday night football or home
Yeah, I
Sunday
know.
night football game.
Good stuff there. Next point here. The Pittsburgh Steelers are in an active pursuit of a veteran wide receiver, either in free agency or via trade to replace Deontay Johnson after he was sent to Carolina. What are some possible names you could see land in Pittsburgh here, Huff?
Nobody great.
Jettas.
They're not getting
I mean,
anybody great.
That's the one I'd want, but the one that I think is most realistic is Tyler Boyd from Pittsburgh in the division. Love to take him off the Bengals. I think he does have a couple nice years left. I think he's 29 years old, but I do have a list of receivers here
Hunter
that are
Renfrow?
still available.
The
Hunter
good thing
Renfrow.
about it,
Good.
the good thing about it is that you don't need them to come in as your one. You
That's
have
what I'm
George
saying. You're
Pickens
not
as your
getting
one,
you're
so-
not getting Tyler Boyd. I don't think. I think you're getting someone a lesser name than that. I think
Oh, I
Renfrow.
don't. Why Tyler Boyd's a great second option.
But no, but
Yeah, I think
compared to
these are-
what's on the table, Mackie, I'm saying like I don't think that the Steelers are going to bring in the top wide receiver prospect that's left on the board or one of the top ones. I think they're going to
Might
bring in.
cost him too much.
Yeah, I think they're going to bring in a lower guy because they develop their young guys so well too.
But they said Omar Khan today said, or I don't know if it was today or yesterday, said that he brought in guys like Van Jefferson and Quez Watkins. That he goes, those are depth receivers. We're looking to still go get our number or bring in a veteran receiver that's going to be an every down receiver. So it's got to be someone they can trust.
Rather have
you
a
know?
1A and 1B rather than like a 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more. I think it's like you said. You don't need to come in and be your one. Like I think it's more take some pressure off. Of
That's why
Pickens, 'cause,
Renfro would
like,
be a great one because he's just he absorbs targets. And
I'd love Renfro.
He's
I
very
would
solid.
Love Renfro or Boyd. Those would be my two. But here, let me read through this list.
he'd
of
be like
here-
a
here's list
locket
of
for
receivers that are
Russ.
still available. Hunter Renfro, Odell, Michael Gallup, Tyler Boyd, Michael Thomas, Valdez Scantling, Russell Gage, DJ Chark, and then it gets into.
I
bunch
like
of guys
Michael
that
Gallup. I
wouldn't.
always thought he would be good, but his injury concerns, especially playing up in the
Kinda
cold
shit the bed.
Pittsburgh, it's just he's injured all the time.
He's
My
been
my
pretty
top
bad
two
the
picks
last
out of
few
those
years.
names. would probably be
Underutilized
Tyler
by
Boyd,
the
then
Cowboys
Renfro.
too. Valdez Scantling, that
Cowboys
wouldn't
have-
be a bad piece. Russ likes throwing the bomb too. You
We
kind of
already
need
have
a
a-
deep threat.
We already have a deep threat in Pickens.
Yeah, but I think like a two.
I'd rather go get, like you said, like a Renfro,
Yeah.
like a little.
You want
route
you want
runner,
a guy,
slot
a safety valve for Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And I think Renfro is probably the most to it, but he's probably one of the more expensive guys out there on that list too. He does have the pedigree.
I think Boyd could give the Steelers a hometown discount too. I think that could be a nice move.
Why he's a Pittsburgh guy?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
You know those Yinzers are really Yinzers at heart too. so-
Aliquippa.
You wouldn't be, but would you be surprised if you got like a Valdez Scantling?
I would, just because I think Pickens is so similar to that play style.
But look at how Russ had his success last year with that deep ball. They had multiple guys that could go get that deep one. It wouldn't be bad to add
yeah.
Valdez Scantling to the mix. It's like when you got
It's like, can Van
you guys
Jefferson
like
do
the
that?
you guys
the
like the,
shittier
yeah, he
version?
can too. He can too. That's another. It's another name. He's a little bit younger, got more tread on the tires than Valdez Scantling, and better hands too.
We already have him though. We already have Van Jefferson.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Then yeah, it's like, do you need another one? No, probably not. Yeah, maybe that.
I think I think Boyd or Renfro is where you got to go out of those. I don't want Odell.
hard to
Please
get.
don't
It's
give me
hard to get
Odell.
Boyd and Renfro. I think though. I think those are going to be the two hardest ones to get on the block.
Yeah. They're also still available. A lot of these guys have already gotten picked up. Maybe they're just asking for too much money, and the
That's what I
Steelers are
think.
sitting there waiting. The longer these guys wait to sign a deal, the lower their price
It's
goes.
crazy to me though. I think the Steelers do such a good job of scouting, prospecting, and developing receivers. It's a
that's the
deep
other
wide
point I was
receiver
gonna make.
draft. Go get one.
That's the other point I was going to make. We have 2 second-round picks or 2 third-round picks. Use one of those on a receiver.
No, you guys hit on them
Trade
even like
up.
3rd through 5th round, Huff. You don't need to pick one that early. The way that the Steelers develop and draft receivers, you can get one in the middle rounds and turn them into a valid player.
Oh yeah, they've done it time and time again
That's
throughout
what
my
I'm
whole
saying.
life.
That's-
I'd almost rather us draft a guy, but they want, like, if they're gonna make a rookie receiver their number 2, they have to get someone in the 1st or 2nd round.
Yeah, I don't think he goes in as their 2. You're right. They'd probably get a veteran to stopgap it and play big snaps, but then you get someone in the middle rounds who you can develop.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe past Van Jefferson on the depth chart. Because who
yeah.
else
They
did you
got
bring
in the
back
past
besides Pickens? Who else is coming back?
our receiving depth chart right now. I don't know if this is the exact order. Pickens, Calvin Austin,
Yep.
Van Jefferson. They just brought in Quez Watkins, Fast Batman from the Eagles. I love that nickname.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
be using that a lot this year.
Didn't they have another young guy who was playing snaps last year?
I'm blanking on it.
I
Let
thought
me
they had a
see. Hold
rookie.
on, I'll be able to find it. Last year was fuck.
Yeah, they didn't like to throw the ball very much last year, anyways.
Yeah, they didn't. Give me a second. I'll find it. Yeah, because it's Pickens. Well, now obviously Deontay, but Deontay's gone. Calvin Marquez Callaway we brought in from the Saints. Like we're bringing in a bunch of Denzel Mims we brought in. Like we're bringing in a
Guys
bunch
who
of
had
like number
potential.
3 receivers. Yeah,
Mims is big.
that's our. Here's the receivers on our roster currently: Calvin Austin, Marquez Callaway, Dez Fitzpatrick, Van Jefferson, Denzel Mims, George Pickens, Quez Watkins, Deuce Watts. The other addition that they brought in that I do like that you could use in the receiving game is Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, he'll be a hybrid type player.
Especially with Jalen Warren and Najee Harris already in the running back room. Like, where's Cordero Patterson going to get his touches? In the slot.
Yeah, he'll get him in the weird ways, and he'll be returning stuff for you too. He'll be fun to
Yeah.
watch. Nice little gadget to add to that offense that sometimes gets stalled out.
Yeah.
Especially in those grimy AFC North games when it's defense, defense, defense. You're looking for some type of play. Cordero Patterson
Like a
comes in.
weird, yeah, exactly.
He can break something.
We've seen him do it with your Patriots, the Vikings,
Really with the Falcons.
all these teams.
Really
Yeah.
with the Falcons. That's where what was it, 2 years ago? Before they got those young running backs. He was great. So you know the potential's there. And he can play out of
Yeah.
any spot. But good.
And he's getting older, but like he continues to do it.
Mhm.
Alrighty, next point here in the NFL. Cam Newton was on Sharon Sharp's podcast Club Shay Shay and said that the Falcons could have signed him, Justin Fields, and Mike Vick for what they paid Kirk Cousins. Did the Falcons make the right move? What are you guys thinking?
Yes, they did. No one wants Cam Newton. No one wants Michael Vick at this age. I'll take Justin Fields for what we got for him. I think it was a 6th round pick, but 180 million or those 3 quarterbacks. I think they made the right move going with Kirk Cousins. I know he hasn't won a playoff game in however long or whatever, but Cam Newton, you're a little bit over the top saying that you're as comparable of a player at this day and age to Cam or to Kirk Cousins. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Ace, your former quarterback.
No,
Does
he
Cam have anything
wasn't
left
my
in the tank?
quarterback. He was a running back for us. But yeah, I don't really I like Cam Newton. I was always a fan of him, but he's kind of crazier than the letters he uses on social media right now, so I don't need
Yeah.
to take that into account too much. Kirk Cousins, I
Yeah.
think he's worth the money for what Atlantis had to put up with the last few years.
And yeah, the last time Atlanta was good, it was with Matt Ryan. They went out and just got like a B grade version of Matt Ryan.
Yeah, literally, and he went to the Super Bowl with it. You know what you're gonna get, and in a weak division, it's much better than anything they had going on the last 2 years.
Yeah, I do. When he said it, Shannon Sharp like looked at him and like couldn't even keep a straight face. He was like, "You don't actually like mean that, do you?" Like,
Dude, I love watching Cam Newton in his getup though, with his cigars, stogies going.
you
And he
see him
says the
playing
most
basketball?
outlandish.
he was in some celebrity basketball game last week, and he was wearing one of those dumb hats he wears the whole time. Like he played with that big dumb top.
Did he have the
hat on.
glasses on too?
No, he didn't have the glasses on, but he had a bandana under his fucking top hat.
I think he got hit too many times in that Super Bowl when he was cowering, and that's why he acts the way he does. But no, I love Cam Newton. He's a walking meme, literally. The guy's hilarious. But I don't know.
He was
I don't
so
know if
good at
he.
his
I don't
prime.
think
just
he
had a
even
smooth
believes
prime.
what he's saying now, though. But he wants the clickbait.
But yeah, he's getting clicks off it. But like, come on, Michael Vick. Michael Vick was a backup, and that was like 7 years ago. Like he retired 7 years ago. He might as well have said, "Let's go get Colin Kaepernick too." Like just cap off the QB room. Let's get all the old guys.
Let's jump over to the MLB here, starting off with our power rankings. Coming in at number 5, the Milwaukee Brewers. Number 4, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Number 3, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Number 2, the Atlanta Braves. And number 1, the Mackey's New York Yankees. What are you guys thinking here coming into this week for our power rankings? Huff, the Pirates sneaking in there. Mackey, No Mets on the board, but I do see the Yankees there. I know you love them. What are you thinking?
A
Mets
blown
are
save
creeping up,
yesterday.
man.
A blown save yesterday by Bednar. That's our
Shut up,
next point that I
Mackie.
want to get into. But a 9-3 Pirates team. No one saw this coming. The Dodgers are 10-4. The Yankees are 10-2. Pirates lost a tough one yesterday to the Tigers after Bednar blew his third save of the year, just 11 games in. Going to get a little concerning there with supposed to be, he's a two-time All-Star, one of the best closers in the MLB. It's going to be interesting to see what happens if his struggles continue when you have a guy like Chapman as your setup man in the eighth inning. And you go to Bednar and he blows the game. It's not a good look. You like to think Chapman could stay in there and close that job out through 8 and 9. But this Pirates team, the bats continue to go through the first 2 weeks of the season. They look like one of the better teams in the NL. A tough 2-game series against Detroit. Those 2-game series in the middle of the week, I feel like are always kind of fluky. We were winning 3-1 at the end of the top of the ninth, or going into the ninth. They blew up 3. Just a tough matchup. Detroit's a good team though, so no discount to them. You split with them. The real test this weekend, we get Philly for 4 games in Philly. Team that is starting to pick up some wins. They're starting to look like themselves. I think that is a solid lineup. Ace, I know what you think about them. They're a good team, but obviously excited to have my Pirates in the power rankings. First time since we've started the power rankings. See that golden P in there. So excited to have my Buccos in there. I think it will continue, but we'll have to see. I've seen them do this before. Last year they started 20-8. But you look at the top, it's always going to be the Yankees. It's always going to be the Dodgers and the Braves in any 3 order, at least I think, throughout most of the season.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good stuff there, Huff. Coming off of these power rankings too, really honing in on your Pittsburgh Pirates. Mackie, do you think we're the podcast that covers the Pittsburgh Pirates more than any other one out there? We might be. I saw them in our power rankings and a solo note about them, but we got our 2 Yinzer analysts, and you gotta love it while the stove is hot. Another thing about these power rankings, though,
we're going 4 World Series. Let me enjoy my time while they're good.
Yeah, that's true. I will. I let you. We gave you the flowers. We threw you on the graphic. We left out my team, and then we lost last night. Valid. So, but you were talking about the bottom of our power rankings. It really could be anybody, especially early on in the season. You could have thrown the Brewers in there. They were right on the. I mean, we did throw the Brewers in there. We could have thrown the Guardians in there. They were right on the cusp. Injuries holding them back. You could throw the Red Sox. You could have thrown them at the beginning of last week. There's a lot of other teams coming up that are playing great baseball. The league is so very tight to start. It's going to be interesting to see as it goes. But I like the list we have currently, and it's already going to be changing next week. I think we might have multiple teams that are in it right now, knocked out of it. We just hit on our Diamondbacks play. Not just hit on, but we did hit on that today. I'll have to call your thoughts from earlier when they had the bases loaded jam in the ninth. They got out of that. Shout out Ginkle filling in from Paul Sewell. But yeah, baseball's been great so far. Watching it right now, MLB TV big inning has been going. The Dodgers, I still think, are the team to beat. So stacked, and they're not even close to fully healthy. They got Walker Buehler coming back, Clayton Kershaw, Emmett Sheehan. Ohtani hasn't even pitched for them yet. He's not going to this year, but it's crazy to me what they have coming to them. Braves still doing their thing. Huge blow with Strider, but I mean, this league is getting going, and I'm loving it already. Mackie, any thoughts on our power rankings this week?
Yeah, obviously have the 3 powerhouses at the top, and Pirates obviously playing really well. We have the Brewers at 5.
Yeah, I feel like this is
So
how it's
we
going to go most of the year. Those 3 teams are going to sit up top, and then you're going to see a lot of different faces at 4 and 5.
I think the Yankees
I
could
will
fall
say-
out just because of the AL East.
No, that's crazy to say because this is the most complete team in the MLB right now. Other than obviously you have the Dodgers, but the Yankees are easily
so
playing
good,
better.
dude.
Mhm.
Soto has been exceeding expectations and beyond. Judge hasn't even started going yet. Stanton's actually hitting home runs right now. This lineup, Volpe's hitting like 420. I
Mhm.
mean, this lineup is just absolutely raking right now.
And that's never what I'm worried
they
about,
don't
though.
slack at pitching. What do you?
The
what are you worried about,
pitching,
pitching?
I don't think it's going to stay that consistent. You think? I don't know. I'm not sold on their
I think
pitching
even
staff.
if it doesn't, the bats will go.
Mhm.
I mean, coming into the season, the Yankees probably weren't looked at as a top 3 team, but this team
You're right
is
there.
absolutely stacked, and I think that they're going to have one of the best. They're going to be top 3 the entire season.
What about the Orioles falling out of our rankings? They think they dropped another game. Oh no, they beat us yesterday, so they're getting back in their winning ways. Corbin Burns. So, I mean,
They're underdogs tonight against your Red Sox.
That AL East is going to be a gauntlet of a race down the stretch between those.
yeah, Blue Jays
those
heating up
Yankees,
too.
Orioles. I think you'll see the Blue Jays up there as well.
The Rays are that sneaky team who are always good too. Did they win today? I wanted to card them so bad. That was my
They did.
That was my play of the day. I think that guy Zach Little is turning. they just make guys great pitchers. Huff, it's like you guys with wide receivers up for the Steelers. The Tampa Bay Rays in building prospects, they're a small market team, and they've just build guys so much better than the A's and all the other small teams.
We also, my Pirates also fed them Glass now going into his prime. So
yeah,
that one kind of
when they had Glasnow and Snell. What about that guy
That's the
Shane
problem
Baz?
will be.
They like the Rays just build and build these pitchers. It's crazy to see. I think that AL East though is going to be great. The NL West also a great. Huff, your NL Central, great one too. There's a lot of great divisions in
no
baseball. to
team
follow
under
this year.
500.
No, but
The
even
NL West.
that'll flatten out
NL
during the
West
year,
is
Huff. But it's
under-
always going to stay super competitive. I think.
NL West is definitely underachieving as of early games, but I think that'll definitely. You'll see the Diamondbacks and Padres heat up.
The Giants.
See, I think that
really good right now.
Giants are
team will start
sneaky.
clicking.
They're sneaky. You
I'm
have
not high on them.
you have
I-
you have the
I'm
top
not.
2 NL Cy Young guys from last year on the same roster. One left, one right. That's nuts. If they get into the playoffs, that might be the team to beat. Dark horse, throw a future
How'd
on
the
them.
Padres do last year with Blake Snell with NL Cy Young Blake Snell?
That Padres team was like a train wreck though.
Better than this Giants team.
Yeah, no, much better.
I don't think
much
this
better
Giants
roster.
team-
I
don't
think
this
the
Giants team's gonna
Padres
make noise.
the Padres literally
I think-
traded Juan Soto away. Like they were like the super team Eagles that was supposed to be great with Michael Vick.
I also feel like the Giants, when the Giants get good, they never really have like the go-to star. Like they never have that superstar. Like there was always that rumor they were gonna get Judge. There was a rumor they were gonna get Ohtani. It's like the Giants, when the Giants are good, they're more team baseball. Like they have just role players throughout the top of the or top to bottom of their roster. I mean, they've brought in guys this year that I
Matt
think
Chapman and
I
Jorge
think will
Soler,
start
both good ads. Nick Ahmed.
Yeah.
Like I like all those moves they made.
And they still had all those pieces that they had. The one thing I was surprised to see them get rid of Joey Bart. Pirates snagged him up pretty quick. I love that addition for us to get him behind the plate when Davis is out or whatever. Bart's come in, hit 400 to start with his first couple games for the Pirates. But I do think that Giants team is definitely one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Mariners actually grabbed the win today.
I don't know about playoff team, Mackie, to agree to you, but I think I definitely
Wild
think
card?
they'll be on the pin. They'll be on the fringe. Yeah.
They'll be right where they were last year if you think about it.
Yeah.
And they added Snell though. That's so.
That's a fun team when they're good too. I like that's a team I've always rooted
Just
for.
because
like,
of the
back to
stadium?
the Posey, Lincecum days. Like I always like that team, their uniforms, that stadium. That's definitely a cool franchise.
I agree. And then some of the other teams, one that just missed out, Mackie, you were talking up the Guardians. I believe it was you. It might have been Huff.
It was him. I put mine was the Brewers. Yours was the Red Sox, and then you both agreed on the Brewers.
Yeah, the Guardians
also lost their ace.
losing Shane Bieber. That's going to knock you out for a while. I think that can lead us into that next point about the injuries. Jesse, you should bring that one up because the injuries are affecting our power rankings massively.
Plethora of MLB injuries starting off this season, especially in the starting pitchers margin. Marquee names like Shane Bieber, Yuri Perez, Spencer Strider, Garrett Cole, along a bunch of others. Ace, you want to elaborate on that? What are you thinking here?
Ace, is Spencer Strider going to get Tommy John? Do I need to cut him in fantasy?
I wouldn't make the cut until it's official, but it's looking like it. All of these guys are just dropping like flies. The Nats lost their ace. I know he's not great, but Josiah Gray went down. Nick Pivetta went down for the Red Sox. He was looking great. All these guys are just getting hurt. Mackie, you should bring up that theory again.
Devin Williams for the Brewers moved to the 15-day to the 60-day IL. Kodai Senga, Mackie, your Met moved from 15 to 60-day IL. The amount of injuries with pitchers right now is insane. My fantasy baseball team literally just says IL.
Yes,
so many guys' name. It's so annoying.
Yeah, so hopefully they can get back to it. But even Erod, he was a big name that the Diamondbacks brought in. That's why they went out and got Jordan Montgomery, because Erod's on the table for a while now. Those Dodgers, like I was talking about, it's just crazy. I mean, Mac, you elaborate on that sticky stuff there. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, just Tyler Glass now came out and said that, I mean, these guys, like they all have their own substances, which are all legal, but they're cracking down on it, and they're not allowed to have anything anymore. So these guys who were able to have loose grips on their balls and just do whatever they want with them now have to grip the balls 10 times harder, which is a lot more stress on your elbow, a lot more stress on your forearm. What are you laughing at, Huff?
When he said these guys that are able to have a loose grip on their balls, and then I said pause.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with you there.
I think I said this last time too, but yeah, I mean they're gripping these balls, pause, but They're gripping them really hard, and it's a lot of stress on their arms, and they're finding out the next day that there's muscles that they're sore and that they've never even felt before, and it's wear and tear on your arms, and you're throwing these balls. You're throwing 95 pitches, 100 miles per hour. I mean, it's gonna take a lot of wear and tear on your arm, and we've obviously seen all these injuries, basically stemming from this exact reason. So I think that these injuries aren't really going anywhere, and you're gonna have to see something change if these pitchers are gonna have to be staying healthy.
So here's my thing. There's kind of 2 points. I'll start with, do you think it has anything to do with, like, I feel like hitting an offense in the MLB has been a lot more prevalent, especially since the pitch clock. That hasn't helped the pitchers either, but I think
Also
that
hasn't helped.
The
Yeah.
strike zone's also tightened because these umpires know they have a pitch square or they have the shape on this pitch zone on the screen when people are watching, and they can't extend their zone as much as they normally would, in my
Oh,
opinion.
they do. They miss more calls than ever. But I mean,
ask Angel Hernandez where the strike zone is.
umpires have been missing calls for decades. But the only reason we know now is
It's-
we have this
Which is
box that can
stupid.
call out
I hate that
every
that's
single
there.
pitch.
I hate that that's there.
It's gonna. I mean, if it ends up in electronic umpires, then it's just gonna absolutely ruin the game. But it seems to honestly, like, I could see that happening in the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah, which is, you hate to see that, but like, what are you gonna do? But yeah, I mean, these injuries are just
It would ruin the
piling
game.
up. There's a lot of good players getting hurt too. Trevor Story for our team just went down. He's out for a while. Matty McLean went down. Josh Young for the Texas Rangers. I mean, there's just big injuries all across the board this year. Sean Murphy was hurt for a stint. It's just tough to see early on. I'm hoping a lot of these guys can bounce back around, but it's tough not seeing Otani the full year, Shane Bieber the full year, Yuri Perez the full year now. All these guys getting Tommy John. Spencer Strider would be a tough blow. It is official. Huff. It hasn't been listed yet, but if I were smart with it, I'd have him get the surgery because we know he has a long career ahead of him. But
Yeah.
it's crazy to see.
It's just like Yuri Perez. Like, the Marlins started out the season 0-9. He was like, yeah, I'm going to get
He's
Tommy
19
John.
years old. You might as well, right? I mean, Walker Buehler, I'm excited to see that debut for the Dodgers. He hasn't been pitching in 2 years, and remember, he's supposed to be the ace when they were in that World Series against the Tampa Bay Rays that they won. He was turning into the next guy, but him and Kirsch both coming back to the lineup, that'll be cool.
Keeping it going here in the MLB, the loaded prospect pool for the Baltimore Orioles has been on fire to start the MLB season, and now we have exciting news that the number 1 overall pick, Jackson Holliday, has been called up to for his major league debut. How good is this youthful O's team, Ace?
Yeah, they are really good. We already know how good they were with their loaded talent, but I threw you off there. I threw the minor league baseball stat in that note there. They've actually, I don't know if you guys saw that, but they're like 1 through 9 minor league team, AAA. They were all hitting like above 375 to start the year, and they're loaded with some of the top 100 prospects in minor league baseball. Now Jackson Holliday, the youngest or second youngest player in the league, I think. Only Jackson Merrill, I believe.
Churio.
Jackson Churio, he's the younger one. Because I know it's
The Jackson 3 they
you
were
saw
calling
that? Yeah, I saw that
Yeah.
too. So he's batting 9th today and playing for the O's, but that'll be fun to see. I don't know how long he'll stay up this time, but if he can start hot, maybe he'll stay up a little bit longer.
I threw him right in my fantasy lineup tonight. I'm like, if he does good in his debut, I got to do well off of it. But yeah,
Against my Sox, I hope not.
Yeah, he's in the 9 spot too. I mean, they kind of buried him down there, but that lineup's loaded, so it's like.
Alrighty, final point here in the MLB. The lowly Oakland A's are set to play in Sacramento for 3 seasons as they await their relocation. I'm not sure if it has been confirmed for Vegas or whatever the deal is, but the Tropicana is being torn down and stuff, so they're looking to build something new there in Vegas, so something's going there.
I just think it's so funny. This is like, in my opinion, like, this is like their ownership being like, yeah, we're not going to win shit for the next 3 years anyway, so who cares where we're playing? Let's just get to Vegas, we'll reset everything when we get to Vegas.
I think it's really obvious they're not going to win anything next.
I know,
2
but it's
years.
like
That's like
they're
7
literally
fans
writing them.
in it.
That's not a good division.
Dude, they got to be losing money like putting that team out on the field. They have like 8 people in the stands every game.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
just, I mean, they need to do something. They can't
There's a
keep doing
market.
that.
There's a
Maybe if
market
they
in
go to-
Oakland. It's the owner, the team, the fans hate this owner. It's like, for example, every Pirate fan says they hate our owner, Nutting. Pirate fans don't care enough to not go to the games. Like, it's still a good environment, the best stadium in baseball. Like, people still love going to the games. Doesn't matter how bad the team is. My entire life, people still go to the games. Might not be a Monday or what was it yesterday, Tuesday day game against Detroit. Yeah, there's only going to be 10, 12,000 people there, but it's like, it's also a fucking day game on a Tuesday. I don't think many people are taking off work to get to the Pirate game, but like, I do think that we've seen it in 2019 when this A's team went to the playoffs with Ace. Who was all on that team? Fucking I'm blanking on so many names. The guy that's on the Braves, Chapman. The guy that's on the Braves, that Olsen.
Olsen.
Wait, which
that team
team?
was
Which team you talking about?
Oakland,
A's
Oakland
team
Athletics,
made the playoffs.
2019. It was like
Oh.
Matt Olson,
Yeah. I can't remember too much.
Who
Matt
led off?
Chapman.
There's a quick guy that led off.
The E's
I-
back in that.
Jesse, look up that lineup from 2019. Look up their playoff lineup from that year.
The last A's playoff lineup.
Yeah.
What do they have on their staff?
The place was sold out. I mean, I know it's the playoffs, but it's like,
Yeah, I saw that.
Sean
The place was a
Minia,
Oh,
Liam Hendricks,
Mania.
Liam Hendricks.
Uh,
also.
Jake Diekman, Ryan Butcher, JB Weldenkemmer, Jesus Zlardo,
Luzardo.
AJ
He's a
Pook,
dog. AJ Pook.
Zardo.
Chris
he was
Bassett,
really
Mike
young on that
Fears,
team.
Sean
Bassett,
Murphy,
Sean Murphy. That's where he started. He was a bomber then.
Matt Chapman, Matt Olson,
Those are three guys that hit
Jurgen
bombs.
Pofar,
Jurgen Profar.
Jerickson Profar.
He was solid.
Bomber.
uh,
Yeah, that team was
Robbie
stacked.
Grossman, Seth Brown,
The team was so good.
Mark Canha,
Marcano's pretty good.
Canna,
Canna.
Mackey, your Met or former Met.
Roman Lorano.
Oh, Rome. He was good. He was good.
Loriano.
Loriano. He was good.
Yeah,
then.
Loriano,
Who?
Blake Snell,
Blake Snell.
Loriano.
Blake Snell?
Tyler Glasnow. Oh, that's for the Rays.
Yeah, all
Jesus
right.
Christ.
I was gonna say.
Sorry. The lists were going on and it kind of
I was-
morphed into it. I was
I
like,
was like,
wow,
they had
these
Blake
aren't on
Snell
the
and
fucking
Tyler
A's.
Glasnow.
Blake Snell in Oakland.
I'm like, these aren't on
I
the
was
fucking
trying to
Dude, that
picture
team
him
was
in the green and
loaded.
yellow hat. Crazy.
Those are sick uniforms too. Like,
Yeah.
that's a team I wish.
My
you could
uncle's an
see it
Oakland
work
A's
out.
fan, literally from Rhode Island. He's probably the only one here because they had 6 siblings, so they all had like a different team, and he was like a big A's fan from back in the day. So he still reps
I mean,
them.
they were
It's
good.
hilarious.
Like, my dad says the same thing. He's like, dude, when I was growing up, the Oakland A's were like the shit.
Yeah, with the elephant logo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
classic.
that's another one. It's a cool franchise.
Yeah.
Like,
A lot of
it's a
storied
shame to see
players.
the owner driving it into the ground.
Yep.
You ever seen Moneyball?
Great movie.
I haven't. I just know it's about them.
Wait, you've never
Yeah.
seen it?
No, I
You'd
haven't.
really like it, Mackie. It's a really good movie.
It's
I've
a
only s-
great movie. I've probably seen it like
I know the
10
concept
times.
about it. They just
See,
spend no-
Mackie, I was gonna say the
spend no
same thing. I've never
money.
seen it, but I feel like I could tell
No,
you
go
about it.
watch it. It's
I
great.
know exactly about it. It's like that whole like
Fat
form this
Jonah
team,
Hill,
don't go
dude.
buy
Fat
it.
Jonah Hill. Like
Yeah.
the intro scene where he gets him, he trades for him. Like that's awesome.
Smartest guy ever.
Go watch.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I already know what happens. I don't need to watch.
No, you do though. No, you'll like it. It's a good screen. Good
Yeah, the theatrics are great.
good
What is it?
cinematics.
Is it a baseball movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally it's a
It's
baseball
about how
movie.
it's about how the A's made like
And
made
Fat
insane
Jonah Hill is
run
the
with,
statistician.
like,
Huh?
the worst roster that just like they it was like a 1980 roster. Like it wasn't
It
the
was
big
the- it
names.
was-
It was the right roster. It wasn't like
Lowest salary in
It got a,
Yeah,
got a little
most,
bit of star power, some romance and baseball, and it go tune in.
yeah, it's great. Moneyball. No free ads. Alrighty, let's move forward here to some stuff about the Masters. I'm gonna butcher this name. Ashke Bahati.
Akshay Bhatia.
Batia. Oh, T.
Bahati. How
Oscar
did you read that?
The H got me, but I know like the B's not
Yeah,
there.
it's just
I don't
on.
know.
It's just Bhatia.
Ashke Batia. Go with that. Took home the win in the 2024 Valero Texas Open, punching his ticket to Augusta this weekend. Can the 22-year-old make the cut this weekend at the Masters? Currently minus 280 on FanDuel. He's also plus 500 to place top 10.
I truly think you can. I feel like there's always a young guy that makes it far at Augusta. I don't know if I love top 10. I saw top 20 at plus 190 on FanDuel. You probably could shop that around and get that at 2-1. But yeah, the young gun at the lefty, the 22-year-old coming off a win. I definitely like his chances. I like him top 20 more than 10, but it's a juicy price at top 10. The only thing with golf is guys, they tie scores, and that's where your top 10, top 20 bets get fucked up. So I'd be safe here and take him top 20, but I definitely think he makes the cut. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you're hot, you're hot. You never know, but you're also going into the hardest course of all time, and you've never played it
He's
before. I mean, I don't
he
know.
has played it before. He won the drive, pitch, and putt when he was 17 there 7 years ago
Really?
or 5 years ago. Yeah.
No, it should be
So
an
there's
interesting story.
so there's a
I'd like to
little
see him.
side story to it. That's also why I think he could do good.
I'd like to see him do well. Plus
And
500 to place top 10. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah.
yeah, and I like the putter he uses. Have you ever seen it? It's like comes up to his chin. He uses one of those really long
It's
putters.
like this.
It has like 2 grips and his hands are separate.
Will Zalatoris does that shit too.
I kind of want to try one of those. I feel like that'd be like, I don't know. I feel like it'd be easier to hit short putts with those, but like long putts, I feel like that'd be hard.
Yeah, I think you got to practice that form for a while to
Yeah.
figure it out.
I just feel like you're more like likely to keep it square when it's pinned against your chest. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess you're right.
I've also only been golfing for 3 years, but it's like I definitely want to try one of those. I just like you go to a golf store, they don't even have them. Like no one uses those.
No, it's usually like a custom like extension that they have on it.
Yeah. Oh, and then they just put that other grip on top.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They don't sell them like that. No.
I thought you just buy a really long shaft for your putter.
No. I don't think so.
You take
at
the
least.
regular grip off, right? And it's like an actual extension, though, right?
I
couldn't
believe
tell you
so. Yeah,
exactly
because
how it works, to be
the
honest.
end of golf shafts are like open.
Right. Alrighty, a little more here on the Masters. Ricky Fowler takes home the annual Masters Par 3 contest with a score of -5. Can Ricky Fowler make a run at the green jacket here this year? Let me see if I find him on this list. Plus 17,000.
I don't love
Listen,
his
the only
chances. I
way
like Ricky, but-
the only way Scotty doesn't win is if his kid comes into this world in the next 3 days. Did you hear about that?
Yeah,
His
he
wife's
said
in
it.
li- his wife's like about a pop, and he said that if his kid's coming, he's dropping right out.
He's going. Yeah, he said he's dropping out.
Yeah, but
That's
I
crazy.
mean, I think
I mean, I
it's
get it,
his
but
I mean,
You gotta do
he-
that.
He did like a whole interview. It kind of was like the Anthony Rendon one, but not as anywhere near with the bad attitude. Like when Rendon was like, "This is just a job, you know. I do other stuff other than play baseball." Like Scotty Scheffler was like, they asked him, "What are you going to do
There's
if
more
your wife
important
goes into
things.
labor?" Yeah, he's like, "I just have more important stuff than." He's like, "I know this is the biggest tournament of the year. Everyone looks forward to this. You know, you look up growing up looking forward to this." He's like, obviously as someone that's already won this, like it's
Yeah,
not
he's
as
like, dude,
on my list.
I already have
like,
a green jacket. Like, I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck. I'll be back
like, if
next year too to win another.
Yeah, he's like, I'll be plus 300 next year. I'm 450 this year. Wait till next year. I'll be plus 300 to win the whole thing.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, but
yeah,
I mean,
that'll be
he's
interesting.
already won one too, and I mean, it's your kid, man. I mean, there's bigger things in life than just golf.
He goes. I hit about 1,000 balls every day. This is my firstborn kid. I have to be there.
let's go over some of the top odds here for the Masters for the winner. Scheffler at the lead at plus 400, McIlroy plus 1,000, John Rahm plus 1,100, Xander plus 1,400, Koepka at 1,800, and Matsuyama at plus 2,000 to round up that top 6. Mackie, what are you thinking here coming into Masters weekend?
Yeah,
Just
one
for the
thing I just
win?
wanted to say is that Scotty being plus 400 is the only other player I believe, other than Tiger, who's done it 10 times to be under plus 500.
Yeah,
win the
I did see
Masters,
that.
which is crazy. And
not
Tiger's
to win the
done, like,
Masters,
plus
to win a
950
major.
before. Okay,
To
maybe it
win
was
to win a major. Yeah, because Scotty's only played in probably maybe he has played in 4 Masters, 5.
I don't know, but
Yeah,
Tiger's
I
done
don't
it
know.
like 10 times, and I think there's
Dude,
good value on Matsuyama at plus 2,000, but I don't really dig deep into that. It's any of those guys at the end of the day could be top 3. I think Rory will choke again. Not gonna get his whatever they call it, complete the
win every
they
major.
call it off.
I
No,
know
it's like when you
exactly.
win all
what
the
you mean.
majors. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. This is the last major he doesn't have.
Yeah.
But
He'll choke.
the one I do like is I like Hovland at 35-1. I definitely think he's one of my favorite guys, so I kind of root for him. A couple other names I like. I liked Matt Fitzpatrick at a top 20 finish, just to kind of spew a couple that I did like. Jordan Spieth top 10. I like that. John Rahm top 10, but that's like minus 9,000. So if you want to take, or no, maybe not that deep, but Scheffler to make to go top 10, I think was minus like 550 or something, like crazy. And then I was telling you guys today, we just talked about the par 3 thing. Scotty shot 4 over on that par 3. Of course, like some shots, I don't know if they were counting it, but like Brooks Koepka's wife was his caddy, looked like an absolute rocket, and was putting at one point on the one hole. So it's like, I don't know if that counts, but it has to. Like, it's his ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she literally was
Yeah,
putting on the one hole.
I don't think he. Yeah, it definitely does. I don't think he gives a fuck at all. But
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
it's
all
just
just like,
for them to go out
I
and
get
have
paid
fun.
whether I lose this. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just going
And
out
then
to have fun.
Koepka, I'm seeing Koepka as a pretty common pick to win this. I love him. He's one of
You
my
think
favorite
an LIV
golfers.
guy has a chance?
I personally don't. That's why I said I like Hovland. I like Spieth for some longer odds guys. But I mean, if Scheffler plays all 4 days, he's the best golfer in the world.
And it's like not close either.
My buddy said Rahm. I said, you think John Rahm's gonna be the first person to go back to back since Tiger Woods did it in 102? Do you think there's any chance he does it?
No, I don't. He's also
I
an
think
LIV guy. I don't think an LIV guy wins it.
I think he is I think him and Koepka, obviously. I mean, they have the highest odds, but if any live guy wins it, it's one of them.
Yeah, probably. That makes good sense. But stick to the PGA.
I'd say Rahm. I like Rahm's chances better than Rory for the reason that you said. And like
Rory's gonna
another
choke like he does every
another
year.
one that's up there, Xander Schauffele. You can bet him top 5 finish, but like not win.
I like
Like, he's
betting those.
always-
I think
That's what I
Rory-
actually bet when I end up watching this is the finishes rather than someone to win. Because the winning is so hard to hit on.
Oh
like
yeah,
Sundays, obviously. Oh, you mean like top 10 finish, top 20 finish, and all that stuff? Yeah. But I feel like it's so easy for like. I only really like live betting Masters, to be honest, because you got to get a feel for how these guys are playing. Like, you can have like one guy could just be having a bad
But
weekend.
the odds
and
are so
shit
good
the
at the
bed.
beginning, Mackie.
sometimes it's nice to throw one in before the tournament starts, and then if your guy starts sucking, you're like, all right, I might have to live.
This
bet
is what
some.
I usually do is I bet 1 to 3 long shots. Like I get some tips from guys who are more into it than I am. Like you guys or some of my other buddies are into it big time too. And then I throw on them so that way I can follow them throughout. Usually it's like one of the top favorites and then 2 like a little bit further down, like names I know though. And then at the end I live bet finishes just based on how they're playing too after 1 or 2 days or after the cut, whatever it is.
I've only placed a few golf bets in my entire life, and the one was Wyndham Clark at the Open last year, and that I bet on him Saturday. I got it at like plus 450. Like I can't imagine hitting one of these at like 35 to 1. Like
Yeah.
I mean, if Tiger wins it this year, America's going to win $1 million because he's 150 or he's 150 to 1 or something like that. It's crazy.
How much is he not? Well, he
Like-
didn't have sex leading up to it.
Yeah, he
He's
said
also
he felt,
minus 115 to like miss the cut. He's
but
projected.
he's going for his 24th straight cut. The last time Tiger Woods didn't play on Saturday at the Masters, none of us were born. Ace, you were born.
So that's good. That's good then. So we should take that. Is that plus money you're saying for him to make the cut?
I think it's minus 115 both ways.
All right. It's not a bad bet to have. That's a cool one to have in.
Yeah.
I might.
Literally all Tiger has to do is make the cut, and he
Yeah.
does it for 24 straight years. I think it's either a record or a major record or something I saw.
Yeah. Since I opened my eyes, has been doing it. I might as well toss on that.
Yeah, that's a good pick. It's just that's a common one.
Right. That's a good play.
He said he hasn't felt this good in 4 years, and 5 years ago was when he won the Masters. So
Let me know what you guys officially lock in. I'll definitely throw some tail in, and then I'll have some late live action, like Mackie said.
yeah, for sure. Well, even if we don't, we don't really have like a golf card that
We'll
we
tweet
bet
some
on,
out
but
there.
yeah, maybe I'll just post some out there to see what we can get. Mackie, if you have anything, same thing as well.
Yeah, we'll see.
Alrighty, final point here. The upcoming NCAA Men's Frozen Four. What are your picks for the final? Will you be watching Denver, Michigan, Boston College, and Boston University remain in contention here? Boston College leading the pack plus 145 for them to win it. Boston University at plus 230, Michigan at plus 350, and Denver at plus 400. What are you guys thinking here?
Boston
Who plays
parlay.
who?
Boston parlay to get to the finals. I'm telling you, from the Hockey East Finals, it's a rematch. Huff, I believe it's BC and Michigan and BU and Denver.
Who out of BC and BU has a better chance to lose?
BU.
Really, BC's that good?
BC's stacked. Yeah, they've been like that all year long too. They have that line that all committed to go to college together. They played for Team USA. They're all top NHL draft picks. BU has Macklin, Celebrini. They have a few other top guys that are like leading the NCAA in points and are top draft picks already drafted in the NHL as well. That's what
Who
the public wants is Boston.
who would you say is better out of Denver or Michigan?
I think Denver, but Michigan's always good. So is Denver too. But like Denver's,
Wait, who'd you say? Who's Boston College play? Denver.
they play Michigan. That's why I think
Okay.
BU has the tougher matchup, and
Yeah, against Denver. Yeah, I
and
see
they're
what
the
you're saying.
lesser team. They lost to BU in the Hockey East Championship right before this tournament started.
When is this?
This is tomorrow night. Is the semifinals, I believe.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch this. I don't know if I can bet on this. Sometimes PA lets you do the Frozen
You
Four.
can.
You can.
I'm looking at it on FanDuel right now.
Okay, cool. Because like normal college hockey games, I can't bet on.
Yeah, Huff.
Yeah, it's weird.
You do them both straight if you want to at least hit one. But I'm telling you, I locked it in last week when Mackie and I were talking about this on the pod. I already have the Boston parlay, and I think it's destiny for them to meet in the final. I said this from when the tournament started. I think it's been.
So do you think BC wins it all?
I mean, I don't see a way. Obviously, it's hockey; anybody can win. But they've been blowing out their competition. BC, like they blew out BU in the Hockey East finals. They're just too loaded not to win. They literally committed together. They brought the 3 best players in their draft class to BC just to do this.
What? Who is the best goalie out of these 4 teams?
BU.
Do they?
BU has the best goalie out of them.
Who? What's like the average
BU's
score of these college games for D1?
Like 3-2. They're 1-goal games a lot. They're low.
It's an NHL game.
Totals are both set at 7.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, I mean, so it's basically. I mean, instead of 6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's an NHL game. Like, it's the
5
same,
through
like,
5
concept and
2,
everything. Yeah,
5 3 is
yeah,
the
yeah.
over. Yeah.
Like that top line, was it? Ambrosia, Gauthier, Gasso on the first line, Perot, Smith, Leonard.
That's BC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think BC is just too stacked. I don't know, Mac. You agree?
Yeah.
That's crazy that you can still get them at plus money to win the whole thing.
Yeah, it's because
I
of the
think it's
rivalry with BU.
I was just gonna say I feel
they
like it's
played-
because if they go to the finals, they could play Boston. It's a
and
rivalry.
they played
game
each
at
other
that
4
point.
times this year. It's just like it's like a game of bounces at the end of the day. And also you have Lane Hudson, Macklin Celebrini on BU. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like you're any slouches over there. So I mean, anything could happen, but BC is definitely
So like, here's
should-
another
they should
question I
take it.
got for you guys because like I don't really follow. I mean, played club, but like I don't really follow college hockey like this
Mhm.
until it gets to this time of year. So like, just around me, Robert Morris and Mercyhurst. I know both have D1 teams. Are they like light years behind these? Like, I'm not saying Frozen Four teams, but like even like Penn State, Notre Dame.
They're definitely
The
light
Canadians
years
are-
behind BC though.
Who are you talking about?
Mercyhurst and Robert Morris.
I could tell
BC would smoke them, Mackie.
Yeah, BC would
yeah,
probably
they
beat them
very-
7-8
they
nothing.
both they were both terrible this year, but like you have like Maine at 5, you have like Omaha at 11, you have Cornell at 12. Like those teams
Omaha
don't
has a
always get
team?
smoked.
Matt Huff, BC went 31-5-1.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
BC's also
Who are their losses?
insane.
BU, and then 3 other teams.
No, they only lost 1 to BU.
And in the game where they beat BU in the finals too, they beat them 6-2 in the Hockey East finals.
Damn, so they dominated. It wasn't like an overtime win.
Yeah, and it was that whole top
They
line.
lost to Denver.
It was the whole top line doing everything. Will Smith, Cutter Gauthier, Will Smith, Gabe Perot, Gauthier from Perot and Smith, Smith from Ryan Leonard, Perot from Gauthier and
When they-
Leonard. It's the same guy.
When they play these games, is it like how we used to play? Like we'd go to Virginia Tech and you play Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday. Like
Yeah,
do they play
yeah.
2 games a weekend?
Yeah, they play on the
90% of
weekends.
the time it's a 2-game split.
That guy Cutter Gauthier, you know him, Huff. That's the guy who whined his way off
Yeah.
the Flyers.
Yeah.
He's good.
Where's
though.
he at?
He's on BC. That's the top line that they all went together.
Anyone know where these games are at?
I remember when this
they
was in
should
Pittsburgh
be-
a couple years
I
ago.
put it in last week. We talked about it last week. There was some. I should have went last week. They had it in.
St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yeah, that's sick. They had it.
Right, remember
They had
that.
the
Place
last
to be
round in
sold
Providence last week, which was sick. I went some of that. They always do. But it'll be good. I'm telling you. Throw Huff if you want to throw a long shot plus 145 on BC to win the whole thing is probably pretty clean. If not,
I didn't even know I can bet on it, so I'll definitely look at these games now that I know I can bet on it.
parlay the Boston. Their money lines aren't even that crazy. They're in the hundreds, but I think
Jesse,
South
what tab did you go to on
150.
FanDuel to find this?
Just went to hockey and then
Oh, I
NCAA
forgot you
instead
can
of
do like the sports. I always just click on like the NHL or whatever.
right. But yeah, it doesn't have one on there.
I'm just
which
gonna
kinda-
search Boston College.
Yeah, I see BC minus 180, BU minus 160.
Yeah, you parlay
Yeah, that's
those
what I
two.
see.
Yeah, as soon as I see it now. As soon as I
Two-leg
search
parlays
Boston
plus
College, there's a
152.
hockey tab.
You don't want to count out Denver though.
No,
Or
that's
even
why
Michigan for that
you
matter,
take
but
them
you don't wanna
both.
count out
Take them both
Denver.
straight, or you go with the BC future,
I think the BC future is
the best play
your option here.
at plus 145 too. That's great odds. Should be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty,
You
boys. I
bet,
think
if you
that's
bet on this, post your picks on this. I'm sure people probably want to bet on this shit. I didn't even know I can.
Yeah, we throw that future. I kind of want to throw the BC Eagles future out there. I think the Boston parlay. I'll throw that out on the Twitter for the people.
That kind of stuff that like it's not the four major that we have a card on. You guys could post that anytime you want on our page.
Yeah, special teams,
I
special
haven't
plays,
actually bet it, so.
special
No, I know.
players. Come on.
what's up, brother?
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Boston College, brother.
Alrighty, boys. I think that's going to wrap up everything we got here this week. Lots of stuff here. MLB, NBA, NHL, NFL, college basketball. March Madness is over. We got playoffs right around the corner. Masters are here. Lots to look forward to as we get through this month of April here. Anything else to add before we get out of here, boys?
I think that's it. Stay tuned for some Masters picks that I'm gonna either me, Mackie, whoever wants to give out. We're gonna get some picks out for what we're riding for the Masters. If Ace and Mackie get anything going for these college games, they definitely seem to know a lot more than I do. Definitely want to get those out for the people. Good weekend of sports. Didn't know this was the Frozen Four was this weekend. Masters weekend, obviously, like we said, NHL getting down to the nitty gritty. NBA the same.
MLB
thing,
cards
so,
gonna start cooking too.
Yeah. Is it? What are the Yankees doing right now?
We're 1 for 1 on the day, right? Like, come on.
Who was the loss?
I'm 1-0, 1-0,
Yanks
1-0
are getting
today.
beat 4-0. Nice. Yanks look
Oh,
good.
I don't like that
They're
team.
playing the Marlins. It's not over. Let's not count them out.
And then our other
Yeah.
game just kicked off with the Astros. Good line tonight for them. That rookie, that
Yeah.
youngin, Spencer Arrighetti going.
A 3-run homer by Berger.
Oh, good. He's on my bench at fantasy.
But yeah, that's going to do it. Like Ace said, stay tuned. MLB card, everything going out. We find plays. Definitely want to get them out there for you. So stay tuned to the social media. Give us a follow, like, share, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. We appreciate it. But thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week for the whatever recap these Masters, Frozen Four, everything we talk about this weekend, and a look ahead at the NHL and NBA playoffs.